Welcome everybody. I have so much to bring you today. I was in Costa Rica from the 3rd to the 10th doing some grid work, and I just did a meditation for you guys as well. I have my abbreviated 7-deck read on the table. I have a message of the day with some other messages that came through. A lot of downloads were coming through. Today is the Ides of March, which is the assassination of Caesar in 44. We'll pull a card at the end as well. So I want to get right into it because there's a lot of information. So let's go ahead and pull a card for you guys first, and then we're going to roll the die. And then we'll get into the meditation I just did, and then we'll start with this read. If it goes too long, I might split it in half and put one on my Twin Flames 3344 page on YouTube, and the other one I might put on my Evelyn Stainthorpe page on YouTube, which is usually my 12 signs, but we'll see how that goes. I just don't want it to go too long. And don't forget, if you like these videos, to like, share, and subscribe. It helps my expansion to get out to the community. So what is the energy for the Twin Flames today? This March 15th, the Ides of March, we started it was 107, which is the 1 of the Magician, the 7 of the Chariot. The 7 is also the key and the boomerang. And the 1, of course, is also the Divine Masculine. And then we have 107, which is space between the two as well. So let's see what comes up as far as the card for you guys. There we go, right on the floor. And it is luck with the 19, which is the sun. And this 4-leaf clover is also very much displaying the 4 chambers of the heart. You are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. And it's coming out with the dragonfly. Look at all the green here, which will come up in my message in a minute too. The bottom of the deck is beware, which is the 3. Which is the Empress, which is also abundance, and the Mother Earth. Be careful who you trust is the underlying energy. And again, it's all about green and the heart and Mother Nature. So the 8 is also, all right, we have the Sun and 8, which is strength. So they're both Leo cards. And again, Leo rules the heart. And here's the dragonfly. 2 is 1. Have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. And the 8 for me is also manifestation of dreams and the dance between the masculine and feminine, the dance in the sun, the dance of the sun as we have Easter coming up. And again, the dragonfly of 2 hearts is 1 and a beautiful mind. So again, I want you to notice all this green. It's so much green. Wow. And the iguana. So they're reminding me of the iguana because I posted all my animal pictures from Costa Rica, but I forgot to post my iguana picture. So that's coming up here. So we'll put these 2 up here. Again, so much Leo, and it is an 8 year, which is Leo. And this year is the 888 on Lion's Gate. So there's a lot of Leo energy throughout this year, along with the dragon energy in the Chinese astrology. And we're still in Pisces. Yesterday was Pi Day. And today is the Ides of March. And the message that I just got, let me roll the die first for you guys so I don't forget. Let me take my bowl off. I did clear that already. We have some frankincense and myrrh burning over there. When I first put the stick in the candle, it actually, the old sticks that were in there lit on fire when I lit the candle, which doesn't usually happen. And it was really burning very strong in the middle. And I had to move that because it burned the post and it fell out of the candle. So the center is burning very strong, and Mother Earth does come up in regards to a message like that. Please read my Instagram messages. It's 1:11 on the clock. They are quick messages or quick reads, and there's also an activation with the music there, and they actually start my other messages that come in like for this read today. So you might actually enjoy them. All right, so here we go. For the Twin Flame community today, March 15th, 2024. All right, we have the 69, which is the Cancer symbol. So the energy of home and family, that's also bringing up July along with August here, which is, we were just talking about the 8-year. And then we also have over here, Mars. I was just getting the eyes of Laura Mars. So we have Mars, which is Aries, and Aries is in North Node. I'm getting this Mars dancing with the Cancer energy here. The 6-9 is also the Ace of Pentacles, which is a whole new beginning. And we are starting spring here. I keep wanting to say 9 here with the Mars energy. I'm not sure why I'm seeing 9. So there may be a message there for somebody. The 8 and the 9, oh, my 6-9-8 pod, the 8 and 9 come in together at the same time to create that 6-9-8 pod, and the 7 being the key in that 4 section of numbers. And there's the 69, all right? So the 6-9-8 pod, where the 8-9 come in at the same time. So as soon as that 9 comes into the 6, it creates the 8, so they're simultaneous. So there's an energy of simultaneousness, if that's a word. Okay, and Aries is staring me in the face over here too, with the Roman numeral 2 of Gemini, and the 7 key. And then over here we have the North Node again. So there's definitely the North Node Aries coming in here with Mars. The eyes of Laura Mars. I've never been wrong. So that's the Barbara Streisand song. So again, it's the energy of the third eye. And the third eye was coming up as very significant in my meditation that I did for you guys this morning here. So we'll get into that. So I always get, from the end of February, I always start getting Easter and crucifixion messages of Jesus and the Last Supper and all that kind of stuff. And I already sent a message about that in one of my videos recently, that it wasn't going to, like, this is the last of it. They're not going into that, crucifixion victim energy anymore, but they're bringing in a little bit. There's this transition into the new. And there's a little bit of the crucifixion stuff here, but not what I usually get regarding the crucifixion, right? So we have the meditation that I got for you message this morning, that it's all about the high heart today and then moving into the third eye. So there's the green energy. So literally from my Instagram message, it was showing me to put the green heart or the physical heart above your head, okay? So raise the green physical heart to the mantle above your head, and then expand that green energy and leave it there. Don't touch it, just let it be, because then God's going to take care of that, okay? And then focus on your third eye and your fourth eye and your crown. And there's energy regarding the third eye, which has to do with the eye system, and the fourth eye always comes up for me as the ear and nose system, okay? And then the crown. And the 3 and 4 is always dancing as the Emperor and the Empress, and the odd and the even, but also as the 3 of the eagle soaring horizontally, and the 4 of the L1, which is the lambda leap, or lambda father leap vertically. So you see that 3 and 4 very much work together hand in hand, and it's also 34-7, which for me is a 34 year, and then 43 also, which is the 3 of cups of coming together in joy, and then the crown, which is that ultimate fulfillment and enlightenment. So third is coming up also the RD of the third road, whereas the fourth is the TH of the infinite, right? The 4 is the infinite source emperor, right? There's only one emperor, right, who has complete control, right? And that's that source energy. The 3 being the road or Mother Nature, which is everything else. And then that 4 of that channeling of the Father energy, right? The projection. So there's all purple going from green to purple, green in the underlying energies, to purple of the third eye and then the crown. All purple amethyst was coming up in the Instagram messages from my Crystal Angels deck, with indigo and then violet to white, to integrate to the aqua rose gold mother's heart. Or in other words, moving into the high heart, grounding into the 12th chakra, which connects us to the earth, the mother energy of the aqua, which is also coming up as Lemuria, which was being broken down into Lemu, and then the rrrr of that tiger energy of God, and then the Ea energy, was also coming up of Enki. But that's also number 40, which is the Page of Cups and the innocent child, connecting you to the earth. So the Aqua mother of Lemuria, of Mu, which is also bringing up the cow, and the of the ox, which is also hugs and kisses from Ea, I'm being told now. The green together with the purple, which is actually the energies I always get together when I go into my third eye, is that emerald and royal purple energy. The energy of the green and purple third eye lightening up to the violet white crown. And the crown is the C of the whispering bench, which is the Christ consciousness of the row. And then the N, which the capital N for me is short for Christ, the anointed, the venerable. It also comes up as Christ then being broken down, where the CH also means horsepower, and the R coming up again as the of the tiger, right? Tiger's TI, which is source, and then GE, which is energy, and then the of the tiger, right? The eye of the tiger. The energy of Christ, the horsepower of the is the path, or the T, which is top dog, the Christ consciousness of dear one on the rowboat, the whispering bench, the crow and N, the Christ, the Christed, the C and the rowan, the crow Christed, or Christ ED, which is Mr. Ed, the consciousness rowan across the rainbow bridge, grounded by aqua, rose gold, mother's heart, the aqua Lemuria mother, and the risen Christ. The mother's heart, she shows me, since the core is her womb and not her heart, that her heart within the earth is all of your roots. As your mother, she always shares with you and holds space for you and your wounds. She will not judge or criticize. And if you don't clear your entry wounds, she still won't judge or criticize you. But if you do, you must ask permission from your father to leave, to drop your last leaves so you can spring into action. Your mother reaches out to you because she has an innate connection with you as her baby, but it's up to you to reach out to Father, where you then are the connection. You are the bridge from the mother to the father. You are the key. And then at 12:12, I was getting, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. And I always get that with Mel Brand coming through. He has been giving me a lot of messages. And this is at 12:12, and I'm getting rolling, rolling, rolling. And then again, this energy of Nicole and Mel of 12:12, of the two wise ones, still rolling along. In the Ides of March, which again is 44, the assassination of Julius Caesar. And notice Julius Caesar is also JC, and Caesar is actually pronounced Cesare, which is the Shay of array, the home of the ray. And JC, as far as the crucifixion comes up also, right? So we have the JC of the assassination and then the JC of the crucifixion, where Assisi of the assassination, like St. Francis of Assisi, means two or more strata or beds of rock united by fossils of the same species. At the base or root, the foundation, the point of difference, the conclusion, the final judgment comes up as that energy of Assisi, okay? So from and of course the crux, you understand, is that, you know, the difficulty of the crux, getting to the peak, you know, the hardest part of the journey. So we have Julius, which is July US, or in other words, the birth of the United States, and Caesar or Cesare, which is the home of the ray. So the July birth of the United States, the home of the ray, where two beds unite. And remember, I brought up the Appalachian Mountains have actually been split into the United States and Africa, unite at their differing foundations as So Julius comes up as July, us, and then Jesus comes up as JES, us, which is je, meaning I in French, plural, JES, the eyes of US, and again I'm getting the eyes of Laura Mars, the third eye is open, but also Jesus is also I Zeus, remember. But again, the energy of the venerable peak, the crux, the crucifixion of Jesus here. And 1212 is also coming up as Julius and Jesus. Rising from Julius Caesar in the root to the crown of Jesus. And then again, the energy of 33% to 44% as we increase our use of DNA, as we are infused with more light. So remember, and I think this came from Sam the Illusionist, that if you're Pleiadian, you're up to 80%, but as humans, we're rising from 33% use of our DNA to 44%, or there's this also perception of we see things in density, whereas they see things in percentages of light. So we are increasing our light quotient here. As the 24th pair of chromosomes comes into play, your etheric pair, which are numbers 47 and 48, which is the 4 to 7 heart to crown, and the 48 of the heart to the high heart. So going first through the crown, 4 to 7, that sweet spot, and then from the heart to the high heart, number 8, the heart to heart of earth, ether, wreath, terra, and heart, which all have the same letters, but they're showing me, because I always spell terra as T-E-H-R-A, where normally people spell it T-E-R-R-A, and they're showing me that we're going from earth terra, right, with the same letters, as this is the bridge, earth terra, to T-E-R-R-A, which is again bringing up the rrrr of God's energy, that tiger, source energy of rrrr, and the masculine of the Tion, and T-I-O-N means tiger, lioness connection. The lion of Sophia, the S, the feminine. The top dog I am on, or the O-N of the human Christed, anointed by Ed, Mr. Ed, or God. At 1231 then, and 31 comes up in the Journey of Love, I think, as the card of the pain of the Christ crucifixion. And 12 is the hanging man, and 31 is the chaos of life, that 5 of Wands energy, which was also coming up because Easter is on March 31st this year. The horsepower of the rrrr is Ted. That's coming up as Christ. C-H-R is T, top dog, or I-S-T, the path of Ed. So I, path of Ed, or put on time out. And again, Ted comes up as top dog Ed. And then again, at right after I finished this, I went back to write something on the first page, and then I looked up the clock, and it was 12:33, which is literally the Christ vibration and the hangman, so representing the crucifixion. And Easter, which is the rising on Sunday, as we have the sun up here with strength of the dance of manifestation of dreams, and the dragonfly, which mate as a heart, on Easter, on the rising of Christ, on March 31st. So here we are in the March of Ides from Julius Caesar to the end of the month, 331, and that came up with my message too. Remember I told you about the 4 sections of New Year's this year, where God's birthday is 12/7 to 12/13, but then they're adding a week, right? So a fortnight, and then plus 4 nights led up to Christmas, and then 7 more days that led into the new year, 1/1. Well, the same thing is then occurring today. So 3/15 is like 12/7. So we have the fortnight, so 2 weeks from now, plus 4 nights, right? The gate holders of the bridge, and then the 7-day, I'm just getting the Adventist 7-day Advent, right, which is the second coming of Christ, right? So we have the first 7 days and then the second 7 days. Very interesting how they're bringing that up now. So the second 7 days after the fortnight and the 4 nights is the 7 days, right? So the second coming of Christ of 7 days into the new year, 1/1, which now is the 15th plus the 14 which is the 20, I think it comes out as 28 though. And then the 4 nights, which brings you into April, and April 1st into the 2nd. And then the 7 days bringing you into the 8, and then the 9th is like January 1st. And that 4-9 is supposed to be a very significant day, and I believe it is the celebration of Ramadan as well. So we have Easter on the 31st celebration, and then Ramadan on 4-9. So there's something significant there because of what it's being referenced to as the point just prior to something very significant. Because the one in July is just before the Olympics because it comes out to the 18th. And then the one in October comes out the 28th, which is right before the elections. So I'm not sure what this 4-9 is right before, but there's something very significant coming up in April, okay? And that keeps coming up over and over again. All right, so let's get into the read on the table, which more messages are coming up. I might read you my poem too that came up. Let's see. All right, so I got back, this is on the 11th because I got back from my trip on the night of the 10th. And then lots of interesting things. So I was on a quartz crystal mountain, and it's in a town called Atenas, A-T-E-N-A-S, right, which is right near the San Jose airport in Costa Rica. And I spent the week at the retreat, Costa Rica, which is a beautiful resort. It was actually a yoga retreat, and I went with some friends of my sister who does a lot of yoga. And then we did take one excursion out to the west coast to go into the ocean over there, which was also beautiful. We got to see a lot more of the animals when we went through the national park there, the monkeys and things like that. I posted one of them, it was really funny. One of the monkeys was on the beach and was trying to steal something from this guy who was napping on his towel. And I caught them noticing each other while the monkey's trying to take his stuff. So it was lots of fun. The water was beautiful, the weather was beautiful, the energy was beautiful, the people were beautiful, the food was beautiful. It was a mainly vegetarian menu there, which was wonderful for me. In case you're interested, it was a wonderful place to go. So there may be some other messages. I did see some interesting things the first night. My view from my room was just the mountains. It was beautiful. And it was weird because every time I would just open my eyes, I'd see a light at the top of the mountain when it was dark, when there were no lights there before. Just a small light in the distance at the top of the mountain. And the first night I saw just a dot at the top of the mountain, but then it disappeared, and then a line showed up next to it, like a white line straight across, like a dash, but a long dash, and then that disappeared. And then there's just dark. I'm like, what the heck was that? And then the last night I was there, the same thing happened. I was sleeping and I was trying to go to sleep, and I opened my eyes and I saw a red pulsating light, like in a circle, but like the circle pulsating outward in all directions, landing into that little white dot, and then it disappeared. But then I kept wanting to watch to see if I could see it again because I didn't catch it on camera. And twice I saw then a big white light appear out of nowhere, go halfway down the mountain and disappear again twice. And I did catch that on, and you can check my Instagram if you want to see that. I asked if there was an airport over there, and there is none, so I'm not sure exactly what it was. Maybe it was an airplane, but I don't know. It was really strange because I saw an airplane, and it was totally different energy. It was very big compared to what I was seeing as the light because the airplane was coming closer to where I was. So yeah, just very interesting energies. Oh, and I found, when I got out of bed this morning, I went to get my iPad, and I found 2 seeds on my blanket that's on top of my bed, and I don't eat in my room, so I'm like, where are these seeds coming from? So I have 2 seeds. They were about 1 centimeter big each. I posted them on my Instagram as well, and I did put them in some dirt, so we'll see what they are. I'm not sure what they are, but there's definitely this energy of spring coming, and the 2 seeds to be planted. So I'm going to show you Aries and Cancer. And again, the 698 pod I was referencing has to do with the 2 P's in the pods of the twin flames, which some of that information might come up later too. All right, so this is the read on the table. It's the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and then the Rider-Waite mini energies to clarify. I am going to show you the other ones because I'm worried that this battery might die because, yeah, it's still on red. So I don't know if I'm going to show you all of these, but I have the Wild Unknown. I might if I have time. This is the message of the day that I'll definitely bring you, right? So the 4 decks are the Fortune's Oracle, Journey of Love, the Shaman deck, and then the Rider deck at the bottom. And yeah, there's some other cards I was pulling last night, so I don't know if I'm going to have time to bring all those messages to you. And then this one, but we'll see. Is that all of them? And then just this of Fortune's Oracle, which was kind of cool visually, so you can get your own messages from that as well. All right. All right, so the message on the table. This was, I cut this one on the 11th at 12:12, and I finished clarifying at 12:21, and that the sequence of numbers comes up in another way from yesterday as well, so that's kind of cool. That came up again. I forgot because today is the 15th. All right, so I cut the deck at 12:12, finished at 12:21. Yeah, there's just definitely something significant about 12:21 before 25, because the dragon going into the snake energy is very significant because it's the ending into the beginning, and also the energy of Hydra coming up with the snake. But you know, the Chinese New Year doesn't start until we're in 25 already, but there's something still significant about 12:21 prior to that. So we have 1:34 on the clock here. Why is that significant for me? The 1 of the Magician, the 34, which I brought up already, the 3 and the 4 of the Emperor and the Empress, and the horizontal and the vertical. And it's also the 8 of Wands, which is the energetic exchange, right? Lots of back and forth energy of the Magician, which is also the masculine energy, which is also the 1 of the leap between 2 points. Oh, that's what they wanted me to bring up too. Right, not only is there no vertical line, that each line is actually an arc between 2 points, but there is no 2 points because there is no time, and the 2 points are just showing you the distance of time to get from one point to another, but we're actually all one, right? So you have to understand that we're the center point of the circle, right, which is the all, but we're all the pieces of the all as well, which I'll get into that later. All right, so we have the major arcana here for this read is Karma, which is the Judgment card, Solar Deity, which is the Sun, and Divine Justice. And before the read, the Shadow or the Devil card came up, and after the read, Strength, Transition, and Abundance came up, which is the Empress. Okay, Transition is the Death card. And then the Shadow came up prior to the read, but today is the Shadow energy as well, right? Today's the 15, which is the Devil, and then it adds up to the 26. So read my Instagram about that as well, which is the Page of Wands. But 26 for me is also Newton's cradle. And what was coming up in the Instagram was the 100th monkey effect, and what's the other effect? I'm thinking, but you can read my Instagram on that. But 26, if you draw them together, it's like a butterfly. Oh, the butterfly effect. They're so smart in the way they get me to do things. Yeah, those are coming up with Newton's cradle today, so you can read my Instagram about that. All right, so we have 2 swords, 4 cups, and 2 wands. So 242 comes up here, which is the 24 and the 42. And the 2 is the High Priestess, the 4 is the Emperor, 24 is the Queen of Wands, but it's also Omega, and the 24th pair of chromosomes that we already brought up. And then 42 is the 2 of Cups of the soulmate energy, 1-to-1. We have the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Wands in the read as the main characters, and also the 9 of Cups. And prior to the read is the Knight of Swords, and after the read is the King of Swords with the Queen of Wands. Wait, we can't have the Queen of Wands in 2 places. So what do we have here? Here's the Queen of Wands, And then here's the Queen of Swords. So the second one is the Queen of Swords. We had double 2s and double 9s in this read. Right, 99 has to do with the compassion, Agent 99, and dealing with Get Smart. And then the 22 is the Fool and the Fool's Journey, and for me, the 5D Station. We have the 12 of the Hanging Man, 23 of the King of Wands, 34 again, which keeps coming up, 56 of the Two of Swords, being in your knowing, 68 of the Page of Pentacles, 89, which is for me the Phi energy of expanding and contracting or staying in the middle, reflecting instead, and then the 9, 10, begin again energy, keep coming back to the center in the present moment. The code line here is all about the number 6, which is love, family, and the lovers, of course, and that's that Gemini energy. And they're guiding me back to here again, because you always hear about love potion number 9, but they were bringing up love potion number 6 before I left for my trip. Oh, I'm getting somebody's tripping a wire or something, and then I'm getting before my trip and after my trip is bringing the 6 and the 9 together, right? The love and the higher love, the heart and the high heart, all right? So they're bringing that together, and then into the 8 of the high heart. Cool. And they're showing the relationship between the 6, the third eye, and then the 9th chakra, which relates to that 4th eye that I was talking about. So the 3rd and 4th eyes, 6 and 9, related to the 3 and 4, okay? Okay, so the code line about the number 6, the messages came up as a telepathic vision reflecting the high road so that the sage or wise one, or that which clears, of 6 and 0, so 60 was also coming up here, which is the 6 of Swords, which is peace for me, right? That peaceful travel, getting to a more calm place after rough waters. But it's also the 6 and the O of the human embodiment of Source, and the Knight of Cups, moral man, with divine justice here, and justice is also Libra energy. ATVs were also coming up here, and fit, ATV, fit, and heart rate. So this energy of working out or wearing some kind of device, right, to record your miles. Homeroom could also be coming up, as well as human resources, but so wise of 60s. So whether it's the decade of being in your 60s or the lovers, because it's all about the number 6, which is all about the hippies in the 60s. Lovers, humanity, and the Knight of Cups, fair man. A TV reflection of the high road, of the rrrr to the nth degree. So the Queen of 60, of the 60s, who's the Queen of the 60s? I want to say Twiggy, but I don't know if that's who they're leading me to. It's 1:40 on the clock, which is that energy of the 14 of the patient angel, but also of the Page of Cups, and 40 is Ia's number, or Enki's number, the innocent one, but also the 4 of the Emperor, and the Temperance, right, of patience with their own inner child. The Knight of Cups, so we have the Queen of the 60s, and the Queen of the Night and the Nile was coming up the other day with the Queen of Wands. But here, and we do have the Queen of Wands here, but the Queen of Swords is over here, which also always comes up as Lady Liberty. The Queen of the 60s is, I'm getting the Queen of Cups, but she's not there, and I'm wondering why that's coming up, right? Because we have the Knight of Cups, which the Queen of Cups is their match. And we have the 6 of Cups over there, the inner children. So the Queen of 60, and that can be a 60-year-old as well, and the Knight of Cups, or her offer of love to the moral man of justice. I keep getting Moses too, right? The Queen of the Nile and Moses being dropped in a basket on the Nile. Moses. The MO of Caesar. The MO of Caesar and Moses. There's some relationship they're trying to bring up here. The 3 of Swords is how we start this read, and the underlying energies here. And prior to underneath is the Knight of Swords reversed after the star is upright. Then the Two of Cups reversed, the Four of Swords reversed, the Five of Cups and the Shadow both reversed. As the Aquarius energy of the star here, which is also about being a star and healing and shining your light and having your dreams come true. But it's Knight of Swords reversed here. So it could reference the Knight of Swords being an Aquarius person in disconnect and awakening and rising above, detoxing and healing the heart, weathering the storm or has weathered the storm. Awake and coming out, up all night or early morn, receiving new passionate offer from the wounded warrior reversed, who may have has surrendered or given up here. The lover, the lover's surrender. As Aquarius is upright, Capricorn reversed, which can reference Capricorn in their chart. Also Cancer reversed, Saggy, and then Gemini upright here. The inequity of the King of Pentacles reversed, and the Empress reversed, and the Death card reversed, perhaps referencing an unfair, slow death of somebody, and the need to end clingy Taurus reversed and Scorpio reversed energies, or a scam of the heart here. That could be a scan of the heart too, if someone's having heart issues. In the recent past here is the Six of Cups upright. Right after we have the King of Pentacles and Empress both reversed. And this could be the death of a marriage as well, or some kind of relationship between them. That could be a mother and son as well. The recent past here is the Six of Cups upright, right? The innocence of two children loving each other so much, of soulmates and past lives together, or children being very sweet to each other. The Six of Cups dumping emotional attachments for the Knight of Wands, sweeping them off their feet, surprised and investing in big love. As the Ace of Cups is here with the Page of Wands reversed, but it wasn't coming up as negative. The Page of Wands here is coming up as offering love, but very nervous and excited about it, to be happy to get their wish. The Foundation is the Eight of Wands reversed in a heated exchange, not seeing eye to eye, rejected, detoxing, ending conflict and the war within. The central energy of the Judgment reversed, as we had that final Judgment energy come up, it's 1:44 on the clock. A poor choice here, or knocked for a loop, in front of the Ten of Cups family with the King of Cups reversed, exposing the Emperor, or perhaps vice versa, as the King of Cups reversed may have conditions here, or may have, he's reversed, so he could be depressed or be drinking too much. Or maybe he's just blue, kind of moody. And the Emperor is upright here, annoyed by kids or on vacation with them at 150. But he's kind of giving that sideways glance, even though he's upright. And 150 is the Magician and the Ten of Cups of emotional fulfillment. The challenge being the Knight of Cups reversed, released by travel, perhaps a divorce, or lashing out of turn. As Aries, Cancer are upright, Taurus and Libra are reversed. And now in the present moment, there's the Ten of Swords at the top, reversed, which for me is good. That means the swords are falling out of the back. That means the worst is over, that the bliss is coming in. Of Aries, Cancer, I said that already, upright, and the Taurus, Libra reversed. Now that the worst is over, after a celebration, and then comes the stress of cleanup, or after delays or return, justice at work, walking away and within, to be sovereign or single. Perhaps there's a delayed mediation to be single again. Soon coming up here is that Ace of Cups. It's upright with the King of Swords upright, victorious over family dysfunction or loss, with the Hermit. With the Hermit shedding light, with a choice to get over it, right? So the Hermit could be someone who's giving counsel, it could be a grandparent or a professional or a Virgo person shedding light or giving advice. Or maybe they're just lighting up the darkness of the dysfunction of the family here in order to give a choice, so the choice can become an option, right? So that they can see the light, they can see the truth in this dysfunction and then get over the loss. So we have before I started back in, because I stopped at that point and I didn't continue till the next morning. And I pulled some cards from the Fortune's Oracle at that point. And the underlying energy was the marriage card, but the 20, which is of judgment. So some kind of final judgment. So that could be a divorce coming through. And then the Lovers came up with the 18, which has to do with romance or perhaps the subconscious regarding a divorce. And then 26 and 14, which is that Page of Wands and Sagittarius energy, or patience of the patient angel. But the plane taking off and judgment coming up again with fire after the Chariot home and the angels conducting, the 7 and the 2, which is also the key of the divine feminine, the 23 of the owl and the 3 of the iguana and beware, which came up in the underlying energies here, with the King of Wands and the Empress, marriage and celebration or wake-up call, the Lover's romance or moody new moon in Pisces, as the plane took off with the Page of Wands, and there's that 26 energy, and 2026 is very significant here too. It's actually the 1 year, so that's why it's so significant. We have the 25 is the 9 years, so you're not in the past anymore, but you can't move forward either in the 9 year, which is 25. That means you just have to let go of all the things that are no longer necessary in your life in order to clear out your inventory, basically, to start new at the 2026 year, which is the 1. So the patient angel with a story to tell of stars and lights or open book test. So then I opened a book, and I opened A Gift from the Stars by Elena Denon, which is all about the ETs she was downloaded. She drew all the pictures of them and told her story of being abducted. And when I opened the book, it opened to page 260, which is that 26 again with the 0 energy of source support, right at 4 o'clock on the dot, which is that 4 again. 4s were coming up nonstop, and they still are. And again, the 4 was coming up as the completion, right? The 4 is the even, and the 3 is the odd, right? And we all talk about the 3 of being the Christ energy and being it all, but the 4 is completion, which we never near the end, which is why they don't talk about the 4, right? It's the end, which is always then the beginning again. So when I opened up to page 260, the extraterrestrial that came up was from the 10th planet of the Pleiades, which the planet is Dakorat, and the people are Dakuru, so D apostrophe A-K-O-O-R-H-U, the plural being D apostrophe A-K-O-O-R-I. And it means the place of guardians of peace. The 4th, there's the 4 again, a Shari race born from unique evolution of the Nori from Akarat, which is the Pleiadians of light, very high vibrational, highest evolution in the man race, and dwell in the 9th density in a world they transformed alongside with their elevation, kind of like what we're doing now. It is believed their development into light beings was due to the planet whose structure is crystalline and interacting molecularly with the plasmic field of the cluster, transfigured their bodies into translucent ethereal envelopes, allowing, that's interesting too, because I always talk about the enveloping of the masculine and feminine coming into each other and then flipping inside out, through and through, aligning their lifespan to reach incredible records. They leave their life when they want to, when they're done their time serving Source and wish to merge back again with her, regenerate and come back in a new existence for a new mission. They're very wise and powerful and part of the Federation Council, working at ascension shift of Terra and maintenance of the frequency grid, and they use transdimensional ethereal ships powered by geometrical resonance energy, and they look like lozenges and faceted prisms. All right, and that was a quote from, mostly, it wasn't every word that she wrote down from Elena's book. Okay, so at 410, which notices the reflection of 10-4, which is message received, and here we have the 4 again, and the 10, which is destiny, but also that high vibration of 1010. A marriage of lovers as they rise to another plane, and a gift from the stars, through the window, the looking glass, the steam release in relief of pressure. Sagittarius, Page of Wands, and destined bonfire, which is also good fire or good passion, and letting go of emotional upheaval to embrace the renewal of the present or the gift. With Taurus and Aquarius, Cancer, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Libra there. So I wrote down all the numbers of the cards there, and I was getting 2018 to 614. And 614 is significant for me because the first time I had reached out to my twin. And 614, when I looked up in Gematria, the first entry was Jack. And Jack also keeps coming up. The second was surprise, and then seminency, so semen's coming up there. And Hezbollah, then lizard, Clayton, date proof God is here. And then the 11th entry was 4-4, so there's the 4s coming in again. The 12th entry was the right eye, which also you're supposed to, when you look at someone, you're supposed to look at the left eye to make them feel comfortable with you. So 410, when I looked up, is Deutsch. So there's this German energy, and then second was I, and then ritual, milk toast, and the Son of God. So this energy of Protestant came up. Son of God, and then lust, and then YK came up, which was coming up as you know. German I ritual was coming up, and then again that energy of Protestant, lusty, Son of God, which then comes up as Hitler, and German coming up as Germ 1. This is the letters in German being transcribed. Germ 1, or energy room 1, or our man, God's urgent man, or mountain man, the Gur man, a male convert to Judaism. Also came up as definition, it was pubic hair, squirrel, word, manager, penis, to annoy someone verbally, and yeast, which is to cause something to rise, rotting things, ready, fully prepared, greedy, gluttonous man, spearman, and frosty, caveman came up at 427, which is, again, the 4 of the Emperor and the 27 of the Ace of Wands. So the numbers came up as 2018 to 26, which is an 8-year period. The patient angels, 26, from 10, destined, which came up as the destined planet. The ET I just looked up was from the 10th planet of very high vibration. So patient angels, 26, from 10, destined planet. Lover's romance to 614, destined. And then Jack was coming up again, which JACK is it was coming up as the J always comes up for me as Jesus, of course. And then A is the rocket, right? All the masculine references of projection. So semen and rocket. And then the C, which for me is Christ consciousness, the whispering bench, the ark, the bridge, and then the K of energy. And then Jack, they were showing me Jack upside down, which then the K is then greater than 1, with the backward C, or the anti-C, antithesis, the upside down A, and then the J that now looks like a gamma symbol, right? The F without the lower line. Greater than 1, anti-C, which is the pairing of the parentheses, right? The C of Christ consciousness and the anti-C. The virginal creator of gamma, which the number associated with gamma comes up 0.5772156, the Euler-Mascheroni constant, and the measure of magnetic flux density, referencing gamma. So remember that, magnetic flux density. A measure of mass, flight path angle that deviates from the horizontal plane. So again, this energy of pulling off the plane, right? The masculine horizontal plane where the feminine deviates from the horizontal and pulls up towards the vertical plane. But as she does that, what happens, right? And the gamut references the range of possibilities, then pops up between them in that angle, the triangle that it's creating. The array, the spectrum, the assortment, or gamma rays. So it's bringing up these two lines as they're the masculine and feminine both being horizontal, and the feminine energy then pulling away, which creates then a ray of gamma rays. As Jack to the upside down Jack, is greater than the planetary spin or the divine masculine. And it's interesting the way they brought them up. That is the virginal divine feminine, creating an array of possibilities, deviating from the horizontal to measure magnetic flux density. So the divine masculine was coming up as with diabetic issues, or in other words, having trouble with sweetness, which is a feminine trait. And the feminine's coming up as having issues with fellowship. And Jehovah's Witness came up there, which fellowship is then a masculine trait. The divine feminine, DF, is decifarad, an SI unit of electrical capacitance, which is an ability to store charge, right? Because the feminine holds things, 10 to the minus 1 farads. And the decoupling factor, right? She doesn't like fellowship, so she decouples the factor or degrees of freedom. Right? She doesn't like the fellowship because she wants to be free. She doesn't want someone controlling her, right? And the masculine has issues with sweetness because that's supposed to be a sign of weakness, right? So Jack is the J, a projection of the C energy, the semen, the JC, right? Jesus and Jesus Christ, but also Julius Caesar coming up today. So the J of projection, the C of energy, and the semen, or the one of the sea, and Taurus direction, the toroidal field, which Taurus is also, is two are us, like Toys R Us, but the two people are us. Direction. What's the matter, sweetie? I can't right now. You have to wait till I'm done, okay? You have to wait till I'm done my video. He's rolling his eyes back in his head. We understand. Okay? Soon. I love you. Okay, so the upside down Jack is the greater than one and the anti-C, or the planetary spin, one who has issues with sweetness or sugar, and the second one with issues with fellowship, is all, or virginal divine feminine pulling away, is creating then the gamma waves. So when she comes together with the masculine, it neutralizes the efforts. And then when she pulls away, it creates an array of gamma rays that can then come in, right? So she had to touch base and then pull away. And of course, many divine feminines have touched base and pulled away many times, which is creating this tension of gamma rays that are then able to come in towards the planet. The kite keeps coming up as well. I watched the movie about the two Indian guys who were saving the kite hawks, which was a very good movie. And Blackbird was also coming up today, which can reference the crow as well, right? Because if the kite hawks are injured, the crows will attack them and kill them. So at 517, which is the Hierophant and the 17 of the star, Freedom Star, 5 is also freedom, Lady Liberty and the Queen of Swords comes up, which for me is also Athena, aka Hercules, her masculine side, her human side. When she gives in, the horizontal neutralizes, but when she pulls away, a bridge or a ray is created, right? Home of the ray. So then they had me, I drew a 90-degree angle, like a chart, an XY chart, which is the square, right? It's the 4 again, right? 4 parts and 90 degrees. And 45 degrees is then an eighth, whereas the square is 4s, right? 4 fours. And this was starting to write all this down. It was 555. So that's that energy of a lot of change. And again, 555 is 15 of the devil, which is today and the Ides of March. So as the divine feminine pulls away from the masculine, then you create the initial 6 degrees of separation. When there's a lot of separation, and then it's the 60th degree of separation, which also came up in the message today. And the rod and staff was coming up because the OD kept coming up in other ways as well. And OD also means OT, the energy of R, OD, and there's that R of the source energy, and the OD, which can mean overdose, but it also means OT, which has to do with the divine and the top dog and the human connection to them. The staff being the path of the human connection to the FF, or to the double digamma energy, which is FF of fast forward or freeze frame. which also is bringing up the symbol of the gamma wave again, the T and then gamma, which is referencing Tesla and gamma. So then all the symbolisms for the different energies were coming up. So T for Tesla, which is magnetic flux density, which we just defined from something else on the first page. And density was also coming up as density T. And the B field strength here, and Sirius B was coming up. So Sirius B instead of A was coming up. So it's definitely the dwarf planet Sirius B was coming up. And 1960 came up here with the T of Tesla, which equals 1 Weber per square meter. At the same time, the atom was also coming up, right? The electrons running around the outside with the proton and neutron in the center. And the electrons being the feminine energy, the proton being the masculine, and then, of course, the neutral center there. And the definition of Tesla coming up is a particle of charge of 1 coulomb, which is C, and moving perpendicularly through a magnetic field of 1 Tesla at 1 meter per second, or m per s, which is velocity, experiencing a force with magnitude 1 Newton, which is N, according to Lorentz force law. So electric versus magnetic came up here as well within this definition, and this is just Wikipedia. And the SI units that came up so far were T, C, and N, right? Tesla, the coulombs, and the Newton energy. The charged partial movement creates force or action at a distance in a magnetic field. In ferromagnets, the movement creating the magnetic field is the electron's spin, or in other words, the planetary spin, which always comes up for me as the capital letter D, right, which is the C spinning around the axis, right, but it's stopped. It's a freeze frame of it. The same electron orbital angular momentum. Electromagnetics, due to electrons moving through the wire, then they were just describing another current. So the 1 Tesla equals 10,000, or 10 to the 4. There's that 10-4 energy, a message received, G for Gauss, used in the CGS system, where 1 billion, or 10 to the 9, is the gamma used in geophysics. And again, geophysics is going to be important because we're supposed to be able to get our free energy from the earth, okay? And again, the free water from, I keep getting through the salt water of the ocean being funneled through the mountain, which has all the natural properties it needs to clean the water, right? We just need magnetics to remove the salt to drink it. So, and not be so expensive, but there's this cheap way that's going to be discovered. So we have the energy of the electrons and the protons, right? Because the electron is negative and the proton's positive. So that if the electron is rejected, it searches elsewhere, right? So the feminine, if rejected, then expands out further from the middle. If the proton or the tree trunk that's positive is rejected, it neutralizes because it's not used to that kind of negativity. It cannot exist. In the nucleus, due to strong nuclear force here, if a branch on a tree breaks off, it is then elsewhere. But if the trunk breaks, it is done. The -1 is used to the negative energy, but the +1, or the proton, is not. The electron doesn't touch the proton, but it stays very close, right, in order to activate it here. So there's like vampiring going on. Whenever the electron gets close to the proton, it vampires energy off the electron. But the electron must attempt to touch the proton to trigger them to expand, going back to get the slow one, like the turtle. But they must ultimately do it on their own. So it's like showing them the way. They keep going back to trigger them to expand more. As she then goes out on her own even further, You can show them and give them examples or spot them, but you must release for them to come along. The bigger the center becomes, because the electron keeps going out further and further, then makes the center bigger, right? So now the proton's getting further and further from the neutrons, so there's more space or more room to move here, right? It's not so dangerous anymore. To move the distance between the nucleus and the proton, thus the ability for the electron to come even closer to them. And again, I'm not coming from a scientific perspective. I'm coming from my downloads perspective. This is what they're showing me. They lose momentum as they close in. We lose energy to quote-unquote friction, i.e. to radiation. And that was coming from physics slackexchange.com. Where the closer they pass, the higher the potential, the greater the loss, though, in the energy of the electron. The energy of Y of the proton is, of course, the kinetic energy lost by the electron passing by the proton. Or excuse me, the energy Y of the photon is, of course, the kinetic energy that's lost, right? So that's the measurement of what the electron or feminine loses by passing the proton in vampiring. So then they have me list electron, proton, and neutron, and notice the rons here and the R and where the R is in each. So electron, the R is in the back half, and the neutron is the same. But the proton has the rrrr in the front part of them, right? They're kind of leading with that rrrr. For the other two, it doesn't come till later. And here's the German energy coming up again of the rrrr and co-creation of one, where the proton, remember, is positive, electron is negative, and the neutron is just the dot in the middle, right? So we have electron with L, Ek, and Tr, which is trace, the field around the earth of the L, of the Elohim, and the EC, which is also Ek, which means I, but also the letter C, which is the Christ consciousness, and then the TR, which is trace, but it also is the season, day and night, the point in time or duration, the length between the 2 points. And to respect that, the field around the earth. All right, so just like the atom, the field around the earth, right, being the feminine around the earth, and the earth is the proton with the core being the neutron. The same kind of reference they're showing me. And remember, the proton is positive, and the PR also comes up as the temple or the house, the enclosure, estate, the tomb, the chest of proton. And the OT, which can be over time, but is also the human connection to top dog source of the earth and Newton's cradle, where it's coming up as Newton's crib, right? Newton's cradle is the crib for the Newton's crib for the proton, right? To keep them there as a baby, right? A crib is a baby. And neutron, NEU, and then TR is that reference to Newton's cradle or crib. And the neutron is the core. So NEU, NEU means her two, which is a chemoreceptor. But it also means new, of course, and I, snow, stonefish, the number 4 again, not mole skin, and or. So when I was looking stuff up, and Teslarati.com came up, August 11/22 was Optera prototype Gamma Alpha solar powered vehicle came up. So again, Tesla coming up regarding solar vehicles and their competition. Futurism.com with auto enthusiast Jack Scarlett, so there's Jack again, from YT, got a tour of the Gamma Solar EV vehicle. The energy of E, the center, or the center on LE, again, the energy of being the center here. The L, or capital L, which is lambda, or the lambda father connection, the leap, and the I, the trace point in time, day or night, to respect the LCT and then little r, which is that energy of source, which LTC little r equals lactose gene. and lectrix came up from that LCT, which is a female reader. PROT from the proton is temple house tomb of overtime, human and God side by side, the temple house, the number 8, father, and length of time. The OT also means pig, grass, herb, fire, father, 8, house, hut, high, OD, which also is OT, which OD is length of time, and bribe also came up there, and but, which is an excuse. So NEU with the TR of the neutron, and of course the rest of the word is on, or ON, which is the human and the Christed human. The for and the not, the season or point in time. And for references the square block again. So by the way, in staff, Sophia's Taff. Taff is good, cool, well-dressed Welshman who's tough and assertive and socially apt, self-assured, and quick-witted. So continuing on with the electron and the proton here, electron is the temple where the center is on. It is one equal and congruent to the whispering bench where the bridge is open. And it is a point in time, right? From one side to the other is the length or distance of time. The L and C trace around the center the lambda leap. So the LC equals 4, which is the square or block around the block, with 4 points in time in order to connect or check in. And then they're referencing the equinoxes and the solstices. The proton length of time in the temple, house, father, or 8, or the hourglass, is unable to go any faster when playing the house. They must advertise or bridge, PR, to get the word out. The proton is Newton's cradle, which has the 3 balls in the middle that resonate the action of the one ball into the reaction of the other ball. But neutron took 1 U, right? So they moved their, right? Neutron has a U, not a W, but it has an R on the back end. Whereas Newton has a W on the front end, but no R on the back end. So Newton's cradle, but neutron took 1 U to the back end, and the proton with rrrr at the front end. But the electron and neutron are at, the R is at the back, and proton's very positive, but with a lot of weight on them. A ton, as a matter of fact. Digamma act. 2 gamma waves in action, but electric is light and pro is weighed down and very affected by gravity, but electron not so much. Now remember, P is the symbol for rho, R-H-O. And the rod was coming up as the rho OD on the canoe to paddle on the whispering bench, so to speak. So their hands are tied. And again, referencing the proton here. And the neutron is the new day, the season, the point in time, always on, enslaving proton, while Electra Hercules comes in at times to relieve them. For when they pass by, the proton vampires their energy, and the neutron needs proton to keep the lights on, right? The tree that would collapse otherwise, and then nothing would exist. So the proton needs to keep the lights on. Without them, the neutron would be nothing and 0 point to go on. So the letters electron, protein, and neutron, or EPN, were coming up as EPNs, which is electroplated nickel, silver, or English place, name, society. So electron comes up as the English and European, the proton as the place, which is pediatric, and then the neutron comes up as the name, and the neurology, or the society of, which is have to do with thoughts and brain. So electron is the Euro global English currents, and there's the current, right, of like when a storm comes up, it always comes up from the southeast, right? It is the Euro global English currents from the mutable electron, and then from the positive and cardinal proton, the place of the inner child of restrictions, and the neutron, which is actually fixed, right? I thought neutron would be cardinal initially, but no, they're showing me it's fixed, right? It doesn't move, it doesn't change, right? It doesn't have ego. So neutron is the main frame, the brain, the nerve center, sending out subliminal messages. The neutron has the rrrr that proton is restricted from because he's a child and source is keeping him close. The electron is the bridge between the father and child, aka the mother. Remember, that came up already where that comes up at the end. I didn't tell you that yet. She is what brings them together and keeps them apart. And then it brings up the picture of the square inside the circle. Because the square is the masculine, the circle's on the outside, but they're really the same thing. They're just showing themselves differently in the square dance. And the symbol for Urus came up too with that C and the two lines through it. The southeast wind, Urus, east, southeast and east, and global currents was coming up with that regarding the storm. So again, the neutron is the source energy, the name, right? In name only. It's the neurology, it's the main frame in which subliminal messages come from. But the proton is the location and the child energy there of the masculine. And the electron is the one who speaks, right? The messenger of Europe in English were coming up there. So back to the read at 822 is the dance of the 22, the Fool and the Fool's Journey, and also the 5D bridge, or the 5D station. The twin flames are seeing themselves here as the sun, the solar deity, despite rejection or moodiness. Well, the twin flames are the sun, fully energized, happy, perhaps on vacation, fully exposed after looking back at the Knight of Cups reversed, or any rejection or jealousy, moodiness, and the Magician reverse, which is that manipulative energy of insecurity or lack of tools on how to do something, with the Six of Cups upright, right? The fond memories despite the rejection or moodiness or the manipulation or insecurity between the two children. The Fool is upright and free with loyal friend. The storm over, heart healed, enjoying home, celebration, safety and security, and union begins. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Queen of Wands, which is the 24 energy of Omega and enlightenment, and the 24th pair. Perhaps Leo or Leo year 24 of 888, Lionsgate. And remember what I brought up too, right? This is the year, 1 month, 1 day, 1 hour, which I didn't even realize that was quoted in the Bible. I've never read that before, and I came across it recently, but this was a download I got a couple of years ago that had nothing to do with the Bible. So the 1 year, 1 month, 1 day, 1 hour is coming up as 777, which is a literal Valentine's Day, and 21, which is also a completion point, the world, to 888, which is the completion point of 24, which is the updated etheric pair of chromosomes, and Lionsgate, and the end of the Olympics. Standing up to the crowd without need to defend, finding peace while Atlas carries the weight to completion in order to start again. Start the mission. The block here is the 9 of Cups upright, as Aries is in charge, as the Emperor in the North Node, and coming soon, Aries and Leo side by side, as the 9 of Cups and 10 of Cups upright are side by side here in the center. Here's the 10 and the 9 of Cups together, both upright. The father and child, one and all. And remember that we keep getting the energy of the masculine needing to reach out to the father in order to connect for any of this to happen, right? He has to reach out for his higher self. The father and child, one and all, after running from the Queen of Cups upright, the Queen of Cups offers a new life, or time, money, and energy to the Queen of Swords, perhaps herself, to not only love but speak her truth and find satisfaction within self, to get your wish, the Queen of Cups' heart stolen, so she must rely on her thoughts and words and hone her skills to get over any blocks about speaking in front of people or expressing what makes her happy. With justice here at the end, upright, from the Ace of Cups and the 9 of Cups. Ace of Cups and 9 of Cups, both pointing towards justice here, which is truth and balance and alignment. and the energy of Libra. And we have Leo and Sagittarius in this solar deity card as well. The Ten of Cups upright, where karma is done, divine justice, or aligning with the Knight of Pentacles upright, approaching secret passion, rendering them weak, or takes their breath away. Earthy Libra with Pisces or Virgo or Leo reversed, with truth and balance and aligned despite being weak and tired, finding balance with the King of Swords upright, where the King of Swords may be Libra here, who surrenders to their twin flame, or without their mother or Empress reversed or Taurus reversed, where the Queen of Swords is upright with a handle on the truth, where the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, both upright here, are with the Wounded Warrior reversed surrendering and the Empress reversed between them, or both surrendering to their truth here at 8:45, which is the dance of the grieving. It is 2:22 on the clock with mediation and guidance. The Queen of Swords is upright with the higher self reversed, so not, without using their higher self, or that can reference their twin as well, with the Chariot upright ascending or traveling as the Two of Pentacles reversed is breaking patterns and dropping the facade, with the Three of Cups group or coming together in joy with Indigo reversed, and Hermit upright or child with advice from an elder, professional, or Virgo, a stone-breaking plant or breaking ground, as the Queen of Cups Hermit to the Queen of Swords, perhaps their self, or with Gemini in their chart, perhaps, at 8:50, which is the dance and strength of the emotional fulfillment of the Ten of Cups family. At 8:51 to 52, which again is the King and Queen of Swords, which we have here, the King and Queen of Swords, with the Two of Cups, Four of Swords, Five of Cups, and Shadow reversed in the underlying energy. The Knight of Swords reversed is holding their tongue. Somebody could be lashing out, but either way, it's there. They're just not saying it. But learning how to hold their tongue when they don't agree or are in disconnect or at a distance, unable to sleep. And remember, the distance is just a measure of time. That it's not real. It's all actually happening at the same time. When they're unable to sleep and rising above to get over it, or grieve, detox to heal heart, forgive, apologize, in a heated exchange or delays and not telling and exposing all. The Queen of Wands and the Six of Cups, both upright here, or soulmates in the sun. The Page of Cups is reversed and nervous to propose, and the King of Cups reversed is nervous to expose or be exposed by the Emperor upright. Challenged by the Knight of Cups reversed, perhaps father and son issues here, or the Queen of Wands with fond memories or proud of themselves for or of holding back an announcement or wake-up call, or need to swallow their pride with the Knight of Cups reversed, or challenged by rejection, jealousy, or jealous or moody one, and the King of Swords proposing love approaches the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, community, or legacy of dysfunction or loss to ask permission or get advice on being happy with oneself, with bliss, of divine justice, a need to birth and transition, as the King of Swords surrenders choice of path to the Empress reversed and the Queen of Swords upright, which again, we could be dealing with lawyers here with the King and Queen of Swords. As the Queen of Cups has passed the buck or gold coin to the Queen of Swords, the Christ consciousness and Lady Liberty. Without rest, getting over emotions to detox and forgive, the Six of Cups upright children or soulmate for blocking them over and over again or not calling. Challenged by rejection, now the worst is over. Sunshine, energized and exuding love. The Queen of Wands, happy with themselves and balanced even when they're weak or tired. The Four of Pentacles reversed, which can also reference the masculine coming out of the Batcave, letting go of drama or laying it all out there, even if they resist, or judge, or don't call, or don't heed the call. The Six of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles upright with the Page of Swords reversed, those feeling left behind or out in the cold, perhaps the good student who has a mouth on them or not talking to the Queen of Wands, or an invite with no response. The Queen of Wands with new information or clarity about the patient or angel or patient's truth, to the King of Wands who's upright with bliss and dreams come true, with the Queen of Pentacles upright. Perhaps the Queen of Wands has been patient long enough, and now they're either presenting their truth to or demanding their truth from the King of Wands. Now the worst is over with healed Queen of Pentacles. The King of Swords, which is an earth sign, right? So Wands is fire sign. The Queen of Pentacles is earth. The Queen of Swords, or air signs, with the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering, and the Two of Wands upright are twin flames, or choice of path, with the Empress reversed and the Queen of Swords upright. Perhaps lawyers in mediation or divorce finally final, as the Queen of Swords is in need of higher self, or with Pisces or Virgo in their chart, boldly goes where no man has gone before, or getting hit by a car, or embarrassed in front of friends, or to come together with Indigo reversed, Hermit, Professor, or Virgo, or with Indigo to reflect with counselor, mediator, or guidance, holding light for a groundbreaking new beginning, a diamond in the rough, or Hermit, Queen of Cups, is shifting gears here at 922, which again is the Hermit, number 9, and the 22 of the Fool, taking a leap of faith. The Hermit is giving the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, a choice, or shedding light on the King of Swords' proposal, so that the Queen of Cups can pay off or pay back the Queen of Swords, or pass the buck to the Queen of Swords so they can take over. And overall, a need to make a decision and get closure, and there is justice in the end here at 926. So there's that 26 again, and the 9 of the Hermit, which is also endings and compassion, and the one and all. So I had watched Out of Africa on the 12th, and I wrote this and I posted it on my Instagram after I watched Out of Africa, and here's the poem. It's not too long. And I wrote this at 12:38 to 39, which is the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, and the 12 of the Hanging Man, so hanging out together. Great loves had and were no more, to not hold dear what others treasure rare, a heart that soars. My love, out of Africa so long ago, my love, how I long for the song my heart sings when you are near, and I dare not to refuse your slings and arrow, you dare not my knots and bow. Great love never had, yet treasured within, a secret place sacred to only two, sealed within a pod of skin and etheric kin. To know no separation, yet infinite void, to only know a part, a void impossible to fill, in endless possibilities, but only one endless love, the first split of the apple, extra, extra, extra virgin olive oil, for only Popeye to seek out, envision my dappled coat, my suit of amour, never-ending pursuit, un jour, ce jour. Je t'aime, je t'adore, et tu m'aimes aussi. To know yet never hear those words, to be an ocean whose waves never land on the shore of the sea, where fresh and salty never meet, and with the force of a cyclone, of you meshed into me, a vortex that is safety from the storm. And both we have created, both we are and are not, the knot and the bow, the highs and the lows, but at the center of it all, be still my heart, I hear you calling, but then you put me on hold. So that was posted on Instagram if you want to read it yourself. And now we go into the message of the day read with the 4 decks that I showed you. And this was done on the 12th, 137 to 140, which is the King of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Cups. So all the Cups family here. And the cards at the piles at the end came out to 1111 and then 111, 5, 14, and 9. And all those cards came up in sections. So ultimately 19 cards. The twin flames co-creating the Hierophant, the Temperance, and the Sun, the Master of the Hidden House, and the Patient Angel in the Sun. I looked up 141, which came up here, which was, the first entry was Bills, and then Demonic, and then Karina, Baseball, and Ant, which was interesting, right? Because I met a Karina in Costa Rica. My aunts came out that day to say hello. And of course, Bills, I had just gotten back from vacation. And today's the Devil. So there's that, all of those energies, and then baseball, whatever that means to you. So the Hermit's journey of the, right, the all for one and one for all was coming up with the 141 and 414. The 9 of the eagle card came up here with the 4 of simplicity, and 4 is the emperor. The 14 of the drifter and 32 of the 6 of wands, which is the journeyman. At 149, which is the magician, and the 9 of cups of getting your wish. So the eagle or hermit soars above the mountain range, and there's that range we're talking about as the feminine pulls away from the horizontal masculine. As the emperor, little piggy, and then Maha came up, and grass. So the picture is a little piggy and a blade of grass. And when I was in Costa Rica, our room was called Makkah, M-A-C-A, which is a plant. But I kept getting a Japanese MAKKAH. And so I had to figure out what that was coming from, which will come out here. But Maha was also coming up here, because I was wondering if Maha can be pronounced as Makkah. But the lambda leap of black and white, only seeing piglet and blade and bald eagle soaring, or just the blade, simplicity at that. The drifter sailing down the channel, only focused on what's ahead. The 6 of wands journeyman with good news. The horse with blinders on. His chariot, undistracted, not seeing the eagle coming round the mountain when she comes. So the underlying energy was then the thorns, 31, the proposal, 27, fire, 10, and eagle, 9. That was the underlying energies at 205, which is the divine feminine or higher self, and the 5 of the Hierophant, or freedom, change, and expansion. The 2 and the 5, which is 25 with 0 or space between. After the chaos of life, the sun and thorns, the sun amongst the roses, passionate proposal comes in, perhaps on LinkedIn, the Queen's Gambit and Vesica Pisces, a destined bonfire, or burning the cross. The phoenix rises out of the fires, was the eagle all along, to cover a range of the people's remembrance. An eagle scout, perhaps. The first next card is the unicorn, 33, of 2 unicorns, right? The light and the shadow, and the Christ consciousness of 33. The gate holders of the 4D bridge, 40, which is that page of cups, innocence, and Ea. The Christ consciousness, the leap, the ark, and Ea. The 2 of the high priestess, higher self, and angel. Their wings spread, drawing in a marital decision, fulfillment, and unconditional love. The eagle and the angel, which is also EA. The hermit and higher self in a wake-up call to commitment. The 12 of the fool and the hanging man hanging out from a bird's eye view, a view to a kill, or to die for, even through glass. At 214, which is Valentine's Day, the underlying energy of 14 falling, 60 of riding the cosmic wave, and number 4 again of simplicity. The bird drops a feather, patiently and peacefully riding the wave, where then cosmic was coming up, as my dad's nickname was Cos, and my dog growing up was also an Australian shepherd named Mikey, as in microscope. So cosmic is my dad and my old dog Mikey. And the heart open wide, but Piglet still does not see her coming, right? Because they got the horse with the blinders on. But perhaps they found a feather. It wasn't grass. It was a feather they were holding, and they were sniffing it out and using their psychic senses to realize that. So interesting, because on Instagram today I saw a little post of a blind dog playing ball, right? They had no eyes at all. The first next card is the 24 of the space between words, without dimension, or only 2D, 18 and 54 of distant shores under the bridge, and the 4th full moon of Mecca Bucha. So their Mecca came up. And this referenced Regulus, which means yellow emperor, and Nakshatra Maga, which is the bountiful, I think I wrote there. And there's this energy of degrees in Leo here, of the celebration of this holiday. 0 degrees to 1320 in Leo, right? Which would be the first part of Leo, which is July, which is when the Olympics start. So Magha, it's M-A-G-H-A, is the month when the full moon is in lunar mansion that contains Regulus, or the wolf snow moon. So usually it's in February. But I also read on one of the sites that in a leap year, it's actually in the 4th month, or the 4th full moon. But they're not reflecting that in the moon this year, so I don't know how that works. But we had the February full moon was, what, February 25th. But this is a leap year. So I don't know how that works, because our leap year may not be the same as their calendar. But the 4th, and there's that 4th energy of the leap year. The next full moon is March 25th, which is the worm moon, which references the snake going into next year, right? From the dragon to the snake. 225 moon at Virgo, next to Leo. And so I was looking at the map to see when it's closest. So anyway, it gets close to Regulus, both full moons. It was closest 322. Or actually 224. It was right next to Regulus at sunrise. So anyway, 319 marks the equinox this year. The sunset. You can see dim Mercury on the west horizon. Above it is Jupiter, bright, and then the Pleiades is seen just above Jupiter. Regulus by the moon, and you can spot it just after dark to know that the equinox has arrived. So at the Four Moons card, number 18, it's coming up as my 18 4 moons says so under the angel bridge at the full moon. The next full moon would be right the opposite of Aries, right? Because the Aries new moon is Libra's full moon. So that's the 1, 3, 24, 5. And then the earth angel comes up with the Page of Swords, who pulls up the blankets with Aries Emperor or Queen of Wands. Cancer and Gemini, romantic message. The 13 of gifts received here. And then tomorrow, from the time I wrote this, was the 13th. Right, today's the 15th. There's a romantic message on the 13th. And Mother Nature and orbs, also the 13th month, right, at the end of the year, now going, which is basically like ether, right? It's the culmination of all the others, not really a separate month, into Aries, which is then 320 to 419. Aries to Scorpio with Cancer and Gemini between. So the whole season of Aries through Scorpio is coming up here, and October Scorpio is coming out in something else. So that's the timing. And then the Cancer energy and Gemini between them, which I don't know why Cancer had to come first there, but there's some kind of loop there at Cancer and Gemini between Aries and Scorpio. So at 311 is the underlying energy of 46, which is the root girl, the 6 of Cups, and the 58 of the Vanishing Mirror, the 61 of the Whale's Song, and the 36 of Lost in Space. And interesting, my daughter's coming up all over. She just had her birthday on the 14th, but her soul number is 46. And I posted her whale energy signature as the Whale Song comes up here. And the energy of the Vanishing Mirror and Lost in Space with the 36, which is Atlas energy. And then the 14 of the Drifter and the 14th. And 14 is the Temperance card. The disowned self of the little girl in the trunk of the tree. On rest, on break. With a lens to number 58, which is the energy of learning how to rest and stop work. You know, a lot of people with life lesson number 58 are workaholics because they have to learn how to be still. Vanishing Mirror and Ego Sublimation comes up here with the 61 and the Whale Song responding. The whale in a portal, and Atlas lost in space needing directions. 58 to 61 could also be coming up, whether it's the year or the age, and bursting through the glass ceiling. The whale bursts through to help Atlas, the patient angel experiencing life as it comes, drifting from here to there, and channeling patience and balance. And all the numbers of the cards added up to 215, which is a Philadelphia area code. But there's that 15 again, too, of today's date and the shadow energy. And the 2. 215. It's the feminine, the masculine, and then the 5 of freedom. So at 317, the next card was, and that 317 is the mother or empress and the star, the 3 of the benefactor of grace and generosity, the angel and the empress cuddling in the mushroom, the 29 of the horned cactus, and resourceful present with gifts, and their ship coming in and checking their list twice. So why is Christmas coming up? And the 7 of the covenant, the vehicle of sacred contract. And then peyote and mushrooms were coming up here, right? The cactus and the mushrooms. And Saggy high as a kite. So there's the hawk, and Kitty Hawk was coming up as well. The flight, the chariot awakening with declaration key, the boomerang return button, and the 15 of the dust devil, moving out of stagnation, stagnation, a path of gnat connection or unforgettable, God's unforgettable whirlwind, and 715 was coming up there, and 329. So 329, right, is the crucifixion going into Easter, and then God's unforgettable whirlwind, 718 or 715, which leads into 718, which is like a New Year's Day that I just brought up. From March 13th to 14th, gifts received with tunnel vision, whipping up the dust, mountains to forest to desert, you know. The gift may be rain tomorrow. As the 14th drains and 15th is dry again. So it's just saying that the rain is good because the earth is sucking up extra liquids right now. So at 3:30 is the underlying energies of weathering the storm, heartache, stress, separation. The Queen of Cups receives a passionate offer from out in the cold or someone injured or ill. The King of Cups reversed, detoxing with the King of Swords upright and the Page of Swords upright, or breaking chains. As the Knight of Pentacles, earthy energy, or that loyal, humble servant, is approaching, worried about resistance of the Page of Pentacles, or Capricorn reversed and Scorpio reversed, ending a war with the Queen of Pentacles upright. All the Pentacles are upright here. Or all 3 with their defenses down, the Queen, the Knight, and the Page of Pentacles, with these 2 Capricorn and Scorpio reversed energies. The Queen of Pentacles may be divorced here or spiritually outside the box, or she has Taurus in her chart, home, celebration, or got a house in the divorce. Defenseless to energies or work it needs, or foolish behavior and falling for the Queen of Swords, or bumped into them, or fell on the mountain and the Queen of Swords posted a release of past falling out or bad memories, a difficult childhood or kids now fighting, competitive or conflicted, about the Hermit reversed or a parent who's losing their mental status. But the 9 of Pentacles sovereign is independent, Sagittarius with Virgo or Gemini in their chart, or coming out unscathed. A catch. Patient angel and ex-emperor reverse walking into that good night, stressed out or unable to sleep, having nightmares of she getting everything when in front of the judge. As the divine feminine, Pisces, neighbor or world, or natural and authentic with nothing to hide from the judge or justice, or Libra withholding or saving and playing hardball in the past, looking back now the worst is over, and bliss of the 2 of Cups connection, and weakened by the 10 of Wands, Atlas, weight of the world or work, responsibilities and burdens, ascending without talking, or makes a bold move to lash out or hold their tongue, with the wheel not in their favor, or the 10 of Cups reversed, with the King of Wands upright, giving 2 options, seeing from a wise perspective, hanging out and being still, as the Knight of Wands rushes in, perhaps in a hanged jury or mediative decision. The Knight of Wands rides in, having received big love out of nowhere, or a settlement, charity, or equity, wanting to start over, unhappy alone, and clingy or dead tired and dissatisfied with themselves, making a final decision, a wake-up call, judgment, or calling here with Aquarius there, rescue work. And then Peter Gabriel came up, whose birthday is 2/13/50, which life lesson number is 30, which is the Four of Wands. Peter Gabriel in a tribute to Carl Wallinger, 12/1/23, in the Keeper of the Flame, 12/10/23. So Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes, was coming up for him. And then again, his new release, I/O, number 1 in UK, Waking the Dead, the Knight of Cups, being love to those overworked or not working out, to tell the whole truth and the triumph of the stars, or misunderstood and now very clear, with dreams come true, or to Aquarius, King of Pentacles reversed, who's ungrounded by the journey or journeyman. Or Journey Band. So Journey also coming up in Peter Gabriel. And Journey Band, when I looked up, was coming to Portland's Moda Center on their Freedom Tour. And Don't Stop Believing. There's your message. With underlying good news, victory comes to the Three of Cups and Three of Pentacles, both upright, after returning from vacation or at sundown, right? Coming together in a really positive way, whether socially or business or both, or kids drained or draining, parties and celebrations, socially and at work. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, so Elton John also coming up, who raises money for the AIDS Foundation at the Oscars, who's now retired from touring last July. The Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, perhaps a big purchase or, a big expense, with the Magician reversed, performing or juggling or robbing Peter to pay Paul, or Peter, Paul, and Mary, or the daily grind, the daily news, as the Nine of Wands, wounded warriors on guard with the Queen of Wands reversed, or the bodyguard. So then again, something popped up with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston again. And I had my Capricorn message involved the two of them back in Capricorn season. But somebody else posted a relationship message between the two of them. So then I looked up the daily news was coming up, and there was just news that came up in my area where someone had died and 4 were injured, and that back in October 3 banks had been robbed. And then Romeo's came up, which is the acronym for Retired Old Men Eating Out. So Leo and Gemini were both reversed. Virgo and Aries could be reversed there as well, as the Wounded Warrior, Queen of Wands reversed, whether that's her or they're two separate people, is without peace at night, with the Empress upright, the Page of Wands reversed, with news knocking them off balance, but letting go, laying it on the line, putting a bid into a home or to fix and make amends, so thieves can't get in a heated exchange, or putting it all out there can leave them vulnerable or with delays, dumping emotional attachments and getting real about dreams and illusions or disillusionments, and assessing worth, reaping rewards, perhaps retired as the High Priestess, aide, sister, or nurse, or Pisces or Virgo, keeping to themselves about their worth or plans to invest, getting over emotional loss or disappointments and rising above, awakening to the Page of Cups and their vulnerability, or Pisces sweetheart. Perhaps the Queen of Wands reversed is concerned about leaving mother and child or pet behind at 4/31, which again is that 4, and then 31 of Easter. So unicorns and Queen of Wands Empress and the Three of Cups upright, as the movie Damsel came up. Angel High Priestess at night, the new moon and distant shores, a gift or waiting for their ship, literally, to co-create. The marriage of the Page of Swords, or 26, the decision to travel, but perhaps there's no sun, or making a decision at sunset. The Fool and the Hanging Man transition, 12, 13, and 15 all coming up here, or the 12th to the 15th, which is 15th is today. Gifts received to detox or watch out for addictive behavior of the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or manipulators with sleight of hand, to be on guard and notice your surroundings, as the Queen of Wands reversed may be a bit paranoid here at 4/37, which is the Emperor and the King of Cups, or unconditional love, and the lambda, Father leap. Let's see here. So that the movie To Kill a Tiger also came up there, and they referenced David and Goliath there. And there's this reference in one of the movies to Little Bird, which came up, and the dragon protector. There's a vision I had seen before I left for my trip that was a circle with a plus sign in the middle, but the plus sign in the middle was actually an axle wheel with a wheel in the middle of it. So just like your two tires on the axle, but only one tire and it's in the middle. And that rolling tire in the middle of an axle coming out of a tunnel is the circle. So that energy came up again here as reptilian and amphibian differences were coming up as well. The urgency of the infinity Christed, the anointed Ed, the OD aisle, the human spin. So that tunnel with the plus sign or the tire on the axle rolling through the tunnel is coming up as the human spin. And again, that can reference the energy of suspended animation as well. And I always see the stent, right, as the picture after picture, but seeing them all at once, not like a movie, but disjointed. The Holy Grail, suspended animation, the aisle and the hair came up, the H, air, and I, ether, as air is to wind, ether to gravity, moving ether, ash bright light, one who infinitely shines, being pulled to earth while rising above simultaneously. Us, infinitely Christed, which can reference US as well, and the anointed ED or Ed. The Holy Grail, Sophia, the hole at the Y in the road, God's rail, is the stent that I always see. The suspended animation of the portal and seeing the passing through of it. The stent, the path of the talking tree. Page after page, rippling effect. Infinity Christed, one who infinitely shines. OT aisle, I will. The human and top dog, and the ah. And then E.T. ah, the nightingale sings and the eagle rushes in. Baby's breath and Ia's glee. God to L in energetic exchange. The eagle soars to save the child at 12:21. No I for, the number 4 I, but I, the number 4, give. The lambda or lambda father leap and God IV temple, which IV is 4 again. The venerable collected broken seal. The cobra is wise, but also powerful with a tale to tell. Did that tale, and both spellings of it, T-A-L-E and T-A-I-L, did the tail protect or attack the vulnerable raccoon who now can't eat, or the oyster with their feelers out to see if the coast is clear, the bat who's lost in space or spaced out or bat out of hell, and Bambi, an unborn child star, the wolf pack, the wise Indian elephant, the octopus teacher, indigenous, to land or sea, the victim, victimized. Here it's to kill a tiger, and there's that God energy, but I was getting to kill a mockingbird also, defending his dear one. Even to the tribe, the pack, guilt by association, it is up to the victim only to forgive or not to forgive. The leader of the pack, the wise elephant, who could trample if they wanted. The octopus who dies for their child, and yet the panther, crocodile, and cheetah are still free to attack the sweet nightingale, whose sweet voice calls to the bald eagle for recourse. Give me liberty or give me death. And then FDR was coming up as what can you do for your country? And don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, FDR. And give me liberty or give me death with Patrick Henry, 3/23/1775, right before our birthday. Liberty, infinitely liberal in gratitude is the translation here of liberty. Death is the D of the spin of the axis and the infinitely emotionally attached to the spin of the planet. Death when it no longer spins, the day the earth stood still, the path of OO and D of the spin to human spin, the path of ill, which is I will. I am 11, aligned, L, even. L, Ev, N, the L Royal House, the motherboard and JC, the Taurus with direction, and a royal flush, and the anthem of the age of Aquarius, the house of Mary Magdalene with Mother Mary and JC, the rose line of the blushing bride, the bridge of mother and son, the protective wing of the eagle, the temple of 8, esteem, to regard, to deem, and dawn, shine, watery emotion of deer, stag, bull, ox, bow and arrow, the wash of waves on the seashore, as by steady wind from the sea, and eagerness, and yet hesitation, surprise. From dark to light, it only takes one light to kill a tiger, to diffuse aggression through patience and forgiveness, through the process of justice, as balance is ultimately inevitable. We have the Knight of Wands and trust here. Let the eagle's wing lead the way, and honor to protect and serve our young. So again, it's saying, stop saving the adults who are supposed to learn to save themselves and start saving the young or the vulnerable who require our assistance. All right, so we have then, so when I had to take my daughter to the airport the next day after I got home. And the license plates I saw on the way to the airport, I saw 1134, and on the way home I saw LDA 4311, the reflection of that exactly. And then the other plates that I wrote down, and rape was coming up. It was very interesting the way it was coming across here. So I got an immediate download. The reason rape came up was because the entry wound of rape was coming up as the seeding of the reptilian, right? So Enki, and this is according to Elena Danan's book and all. If you watch Michael Sal and Elena's, or even Sam may bring some of this stuff across sometimes, but that Enki and Enlil, Enki was Anunnaki, but Enlil was half Anunnaki, half reptilian, and the humans were seeded from the Anunnaki. But obviously the reptilian race got in there. The O blood represents the reptilian, and the RH was added so that they could actually breed with the human and have children. So there's the rape is coming up. The initial wounding of that is the reptilian seeding, which is very profound. The rape was coming up as Ray, and P is Rho, which is ultimately R, but the symbol looks like a P. And then the E is temple. And then rare Ho temple also coming up. And again, notice the RH there and the O. So O blood and the RH that allowed the reptilian blood to breed children with the human blood. The OE means small island. The grandchild, hello, grandfather. Water, woman to dry. R, the RH, human temple. And then O, other symbols of this were the O with 2 dots over it, the O with the slash through it, and then EY. To hear, to listen, and son of a bitch. Ray, RH, grandchild and women. The RH equals the Xhosa and Bantu people, or the Zulus. It means Zulu. So again, the first there's referencing the first people, seeded people, were coming up as the Zulu or Bantu people. So then ELY also came up, which is earthly, the earth or of the material world. The E, which is temple, the L is the lambda, and the Y, of course, is the 0 point, or the Y in the road. So left at the right angle at the Y in the road, and there is no 90-degree angle in the Y, right? Because they're all 120-degree angles, because there's only 3 of them. present at 120 degrees in all directions, source wisdom, right, with the 12 there, in the hanging man. 1 equal and congruent to L at 0 point, where all roads lead home. J inspired by ELY, and together make jelly, which is jet, to ride, go, throw, spout, strut, but also to spin. And then JETY means jack, J-A-C, so there's jack coming up again, to seize, take, to hold on and begin. The E and LY, which LY is also light year, and E is the temple, but it's also 1 equal and congruent to, and it's earthly, right? Like us. The temple shelter, lukewarm and mild. And Luke, the book of Luke coming up here too. LDA came up, and there wasn't much in definitions for LDA, even though for me it comes across as legal disclosure agreement, but it means and, which is also ET, and the plus sign. So LDA is the 4th quarter of the cow's digestive stomach, and local density approximation coming together in joy, aligned with truth and balance. The J, the woody Queen's Gambit, the Ace of Wands, and the 27 for me is the Queen's Gambit, because the 2 is the Q, right? When you write Q in the script, it looks like a 2. And then the 7 is like the boomerang. And when you put the Q and the boomerang together, it's basically Vesica Pisces, because it makes 2 circles overlapped. The E and Buzz Lightyear. So there's this energy of Woody and Buzz Lightyear. Okay, Woody being at the root and Buzz Lightyear being at the crown. And Avatar, and that Q and 7 also references the propeller of the Avatar ships there, right? The hovering propeller. And here, J27 came up with E37. The 27 are Ace of Wands with the J, the masculine energy, and the E with the 37, which is the King of Cups and unconditional love, right? The masculine with the fire, right? To light a fire under your butt, and then the feminine with the unconditional love, and just to fly as the 3, and to soar across as the eagle. But both have the 7 with them. So ZGJ came up, the sleeping human, God and Jesus, the journey of the 2 humans. And again, this doesn't reference any religion. It has to do with you as a human, source energy, and Jesus as a symbol of the divine masculine on this ascension journey. The journey of 2 humans and lots of source support. V68 also came up with PFJ, the creation of the Page of Pentacles, the curious child, and the rho, RHO again, of the digamma reflecting twin flames. So J is Jack, but it's also Jules and Jesus, right? So Jules comes up because that's the right, jewels are, there's 2 different jewels, right? The energy jewels, and then JEWEL, which can reference the L, the Elohim Jew. J and little j used to be written, the big J, another way of writing it, is a backwards F with a curved tail on it, like a J. The journey or journal, judge, justice, junction, jack, jump short, Jehovah's, and to fantasize. And that was coming up with masturbation, which is interesting, right? Because that's to bait the master, to fantasize. Iodine came up here with the joint as well, the creative student of rho FJ, which is the RH factor, and the O blood, the F of digamma or twin flame energy, and the J of the human that becomes Christed. The rho F reflecting upon itself, right? Because every being in this world is a child of God, right? We're all source, the reptilians and the humans and the Anunnaki, everybody, whether positive or negative. There's negative humans too. The rhombus came up with rho and bus. The spinning top, the snail, I turn around, the magician's circle. Parallel lines of the rhombus, like the kite, the convex quadrilateral opposites parallel and equal length, or time, where there is really no time, where the kite collapses. the kite makes up of 11 and equal, 2 plus signs, which is ultimately the number sign. So that was significant too, the sign for numbers, right? 11 upright and then 11 across, right? So not just the plus sign, but 2 plus signs, the masculine and the feminine, both horizontal and both vertical, the number sign. What's your number and what's your place? What's your row? That was also coming up. The rhombus, the RH and O, the MB, which is maybe or my bad, and the US, which is us or the United States, the RHO number. So what is your number and row? What is your place in all of this? So Ray, row side by side at 218, which is the feminine and the moon. The sun and the sun, both spellings, and the reptilian line. The rain rowboat, the ray in the rowboat, the whispering bench, the ray row E, the rare ho, the ray R ho, or human grandchild, to hear and listen on island with son of a bitch, right? So there, again, the polarity of it all, right? The sweet innocent grandchild and then the son of a bitch. Yet they're all God's children. Then the number came up 486, which the first entry from Gematria was 14. So there's the number 4 again coming up. The year God died on the cross, Oakley, political scams, distraction, extra, December 19th. And the 9th entry was daughter of L, and then the essence of man, H, which H references human, and then the chromosomes. So there's the HRO again, but the letters mixed around there. The prostate, Schlangenträger, decode information, best of luck, number 8. The incarnation, commissioner, and Starbuck came up. And the 22nd entry was bird, and little bird kept coming up. Because in Damsel, the dragon keeps calling her, little bird, go ahead and try to jump if you'd like. So then an emergency vehicle was in front of me also on my trip, which was 50154, referencing the royal house, the temple of creation, the 10 of cups magician, and the page of swords, emotional fulfillment of the magician with a message to bring, and EV being the free human shadowing, the emperor lambda leap, right? Having been given an example. And then 504 came up, which is the odd and the even again, of the 5 of the freedom and the 4 of stability with space between. And Kennedy was the first entry. Then disease X, and then Daisy, be the child prophesied of. And then the 405, the reflection of that was Neuralink. Oh, and the falling for a lie, bride died, also was one of the entries there for 405. The daughter, Neuralink came up again. The daughter, decode of male hidden one. Grandmother, tunnel, Abby, Neuralink again. And then monkey, 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 but spelled M-O-N-K-E was the 14th entry. So this energy of Mon-Ki, or Monk-E, the temple of the monk. So the monk temple, the monkey monk, blue bonnet, blue buttons, blue daisy, the iron flower, or the sheep's bit. NKE means all, whole, every, together, jointly, yes. MO of being all together and whole. The MON is my, man, husband, human, to monitor. I wonder, world, I. Hand one, money you, moon shall remember to lament. So there's this energy of Japanese husband, to monitor, wonder, wail, to remember the key of word and I am. The Japanese family emblem came up there as well. The human key, the money key, the key code, and the monitor. The key to the house, to Monday's child, where Monday is the first day, the mountain and human and Christ, co-creation on day, the MO to end as A, like Fonzie. One at the Y in the road in the beginning. Mary and Christ with space between is the key. Because remember, because what's coming up is that the masculine needs to reach out to the father. Or I gave that to you in the beginning then. So then the butterfly effect comes up again. The 26 being looks like a butterfly when you put it together, but that hovering effect of suspended animation. 3-5. Oh, and I saw a spaceship too in one of my meditations too, hovering very close to the ground. What, honey? Who do you see? You have to wait, honey. I'm almost done. Okay? Because if I let you out, I can't let you back in until I'm done. Okay? So you have to wait. I'll be done soon. So I saw a spaceship. And 51st dates also came up. You know that scene where he says something and she's like, oh, but my grandfather died. And made on, but she was messing with him. And when she says, and how about that? And that was the person I was rooming with, reminded me of that moment. And then when I went up to the pool that night, literally the owner was there celebrating their birthday, and they had a ukulele player singing the 51st Dates song at the pool. It was crazy. And then Love Potion number 33-6 came up again, and 10 and 2. Lights in Motion. And then the 6th ray also came up on the 7th, which is Virgo energy. And then the 26th was saying 2-6, which is Virgo. Remember, Virgo to Libra is the midpoint of the zodiac. And then the quarter being 2 QTs, idle, to see the ray length. So idle was coming up regarding cradle, the Christ cosmic ray length. And again, it keeps talking about length, referencing the time from dot to dot of distance. And Newton's cradle, where the Christed temple of co-creation to Christus Sophia on the whispering bench, the leap, the arc, the bridge, they're all the same. To see the ray length in all of this, because there really is no distance. The Christ consciousness ray length is the 6th ray, the 6th degree of separation. Now I'm getting again, and then the Newton's cradle comes up of the 3 balls together in the middle with the 2 balls on either end. And then I'm getting the 6th is what's not shown here. The 6th ray, the 6 degrees of separation. And then from Ascension Glossary, also the 13th pillar of the Aqua Core was coming up. So she talked about the opening up to the mother line again was available in 2009 to access again the mother. Beyond the cosmic ethers, the sound pillar at the 13th gate, the neutron window, and again, this is Ascension Glossary, the rainbow rays to the aurora, to the liquid light of the aquiline sun. And she talks about the 13th mother pillar and the 6th blue ray were the feminine pillars that were blocked by the old energy that are now opened up again to come back into the feminine. The plasma light coming in from Sirius B. And prior to the light coming in was us as grid workers going out and collecting that light so that we could ground it and start this transaction, which is then taking me back to the feminine horizontal, pulling off the masculine to create the array, right? We did the grid work to open up the array so that the rays of light could keep coming in on their own, right? Creating the bridge until it stays open on its own. And she referenced, I looked up 1212 in her site to see what that was because that kept coming up for me. And 1212 in her site was the Christed electrical male, the horizontal correcting the electronic spin to organic that would allow for the mathematical merge with vertical magnetic female Christed staff, and then ultimately the hierogamic union of the rod and inner staff. The messages on the 8th I was getting was the number 4 came up, Buddha. I also saw a fox in a tube. It was a really cute little fox in a tube, and Fox Hollow was coming up from that as well. And then I was seeing someone face down in a garden, like on the bushes, face down. 4 hearts, 4 hawks, the dwarfs were coming up, and Sirius B. Yin and Yang. Actually, in my yoga classes, we had Yang class in the morning and Yin in the afternoons. The lion's heart. Yeah. And I went through all that neutron stuff with you guys. So I came back to the spin again of the axle, right? So we have this energy here. You see it? Of the D, which is like the axle spin, right? You see the spin not moving because you're only seeing half of the Earth. So if you saw the whole Earth, it's referencing the spin moving. So, and also D is a short way of writing 2 parentheses with the 1 in the middle, which actually used to be the way you wrote M. So M for me is 1V, 1V1, which is 4 and 6 and 5 in the middle, but also co-creation. They all mean the same, whether it's the D, the M, the parentheses with 1, which is also pi. It's all co-creation, which is also the TT of pi, is then co-creation as well. The Holy Grail and suspended animation, and then the Cine, C-I-N-E, which is the fluid movement, like a movie would be. The symbol for spin is S, which I always use for Sophia, but electron is the feminine energy and spin, so Sophia, which is wisdom of the feminine. And then it's also coded as little ms, or ms for the z-axis, the spin quantum number, and that was from Wikipedia. The electron spin from chemlibratext.org, it's L-I-B-R-E, and chem is C-H-E-M, or spin quantum number is the 4th quarter number for electrons in atoms and molecules. MS is either upward MS as plus 1/2 or downward and minus 1/2, you know, kind of like the negative feminine, the positive masculine. The electron spin quantum number retains its own spin on the orbital of the atom. So there's four numbers here referenced. The principal quantum number, which is referenced as small n, the energy level of n equaling 1, 2, or 3, or 4. The second being the orbital angular, or the L, sometimes referenced as the capital L, and the momentum of the quantum number, L, shape of the orbital, right? Is it a circle or is it an oval? How is it shaped? And then that L also being 0, 1, 2, or 3, where n and n minus 1. The third is magnetic Q number, referenced as M to the lower L. The orientation of ML equals interval of minus L and plus L. And then the fourth one is the electron spin quantum number, ESQN. Referenced MS is independent of the other 3 quantum numbers because MS is always either minus half or plus half. And then they showed different orbitals, right? S orbital is 1 line, P is 3, D is 5, and F is 7, which have to do with the number of orientations they can each represent, and each can hold up to electrons, whether upright or reversed, or negative or positive. They will or won't generate a magnetic field. The diamagnetic doesn't attract because the electrons are paired, right? There's no pole. And the paramagnetic and the magnetic field are unpaired electrons, so therefore they can connect. So then the electronic spin quantum number, the acronym is ESQN, which is coming up as the temple of the S, which is the parentheses really, right? It's the C and the anti-C, but just above each and below each other. The Sophia of pairing of the C's, parentheses, and antithesis, the anti of the C's. The conception of the Christed, the anointed, the venerable. The crystalline, which is the being Christ-like. 1 equal and congruent to the squared Christ is the circled Sophia. And they're both SC and CS. Squared Christ is SC and circled Sophia is CS. And again, referencing the circle with the square inside of it, they're both the same, just from 2 different perspectives. right? One is a straight line and one is a leap. The crystalline mountain, where crystalline is the Christ-like mountain, which mountain is mountain, the people's remembrance. The N of Christ and the M of co-creation are Mary. The crystalline, and then all the lines of the masculine and feminine were coming up. So it's not the, all of the names are referencing the lineages. So Evelyn was coming up as Eve's lineage, right? The Eve line. And then Rosalind is coming up as the Rose line. Marilyn is coming up as the Mary line. And then the two masculine lines were coming up as Adamine. And then the funny one is Joshin, right? So Joshua and Joshin. So Adamine and Joshin are coming up as the masculine lines of Adam and Yeshua. Brokeback Mountain was coming up as well with the light in phased array. The N and the M, which are referencing the name, which was the neutron, remember. And the, which name, NM is name, the neutron. The Eve line, the Rose line, the Mary line, the Adamine and the Joshin and Sophin, the Sophian lines there. The temple, the row, and the mountain were coming up here. The temple of Sophia, the Q being organic, the P being rho, or that RH and reptilian energy, and the N being the Christed energy. Very interesting the way it was coming up. So remember that temple of Sophia is the Q of the organic conception, the P of the rho, or the reptilian conception, and the N of the Christed, which was the seeding that was supposed to happen of the Anunnaki to make, the apes become more intelligent so that they would have a workforce. They'd have Anunnaki intelligence, but wouldn't be quite as intelligent as them. And getting that reptilian energy as well. Very interesting. All right, so all right, don't need that. Just want to see if there's something else I want to bring to you. Also, I'm going to do when I get enough rest, because I'm feeling a little bit run down right now, but I'll do my other channel at Evelyn Stainthorpe YouTube, where I do the 12 signs. And this month I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to do a past, present, and future with the top line will be the topic, the midline will be the people involved, and the bottom line will be the actions to take for past, present, and future. So I'll do that for the 12 signs. And is this the last one? I might as well do these last ones. Where are we here? Yeah, it's still already over 2 hours, so I might as well give it to you. Okay, so there's two more little reads, and they have to do with the Rider-Waite, the Lenormand Kipper deck, and the Wild Unknown, so you'll be able to recognize the pictures by that. So this was supposed to be a quick draw, actually, and this was at 10:28 on the 14th, yesterday. The underlying energy was the Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, Six of Wands, and the King of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. The first card out was the Eight of Swords reversed, the Three of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. The Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups leading the King of Cups. It only looks like he is leading, but it's actually the Queen and the Page that are leading him, upholding his reputation that precedes him. After some clarity, information, or making a decision, wanting the whole truth put out there by the King of Cups. As the Knight of Cups 39, with Dicey Snake there, the Queen of Wands, Charioteer, Sagittarius, and Cancer, getting the Page of Cups child, and or the King of Cups to deliver their message. Magic or magician's journey of arrogance or dissatisfaction with the snake nipping at their heels, being seen in glory but unhappy with themselves or with being alone, through rain, through snow, sleet, and hail, the mailman's code of going the distance. And then that song with Cake came up on my Instagram, Going the Distance, and Deliverance. The Power Lady and the Ace of Swords with 29, the Three of Wands, present with gifts, looking at the big window or through the looking glass at the whole truth. and Excalibur, or the caliber of the X may be very cold here. At 2024 in the Queen of Wands, relying on the Page of Cups and the King of Cups, both upright here, to present the truth, be victorious, or to hand off the crown to the little one. After the Ace of Cups, with loving regards, the Page of Swords message after world travel, from depressed Queen of Cups reversed, or not feeling well, sick, or their light is dim. At work getting organized after the Four of Wands reversed, or a visit, return, destabilized, and perhaps cleaning up the house. As the Queen of Swords is upright, an energetic exchange with the Queen of Pentacles, and that can be love energy going back and forth as well, who's uncomfortable in their emotions or needing to go out for a walk, or the Queen of Pentacles unable to leave with the Hermit reversed. Or, that could be someone losing their mind, going insane, as the Knight of Wands reverse player may be falling short here, or off the horse implementing a plan, or getting the Divine Feminine to come out of the house, as the Knight of Wands reverse is investing their time, money, and effort in regaining balance after new information or a decision that knocked them off balance. The Queen of Wands with a message of love, or loving child or pet bringing good news to the King of Cups, passing their crown to set them free, as the King of Cups' truth will set you free. To come together in joy, receiving passionate offer from the Emperor, Scorpio, and the King of Wands reversed, Hierophant. And there's this church versus state energy there as well, with Aries, Scorpio, and the King of Wands reversed, committed, and that could be committing a parent, right, who's not doing well mentally. And at 11, which is 1100, right, aligning with justice, truth, and balance, and lots of source support, the underlying energy of the tiger, the butterfly, snake, and octopus, scorpion, hummingbird, moth, spider, camel, elk, swan, and earthworm. Remember, X also is the 24th letter. Transformation, so Scorpio in the collective awakening here, and the brain that's fried, so their stinger is out. All hands Luke, or Lucas, requires a jump, a shock, a pinch, a squeeze, a tropical breeze. Sophia Nike, or Sophia Christ, a key, perhaps OC, top in U.S., that can reference Ocean County, Ocean City, but Ocean City, New Jersey has referenced top family site in the United States. October, Scorpio meets hummingbird and clears the air. Or Scorpio surprised by high vibration of the singing bird. Like the moth to the flame, they can't resist, as the spider's web is here as the camel and elk approach to give a hand. Came L, a bit bloated and blue, and LK of the elk, a bit hot-headed and proud, especially when not eating right. Scorpion with shocking tale to tell of snake and eight dance, life's work, their opus, open to human whispering bench, the 40 rainbow and the 33 bridge, the leap, the arc at the pus stop instead of bus stop, P being that row of RH and O, and us of the US, the reptilian brain, the basal ganglia, the primal brain, self-preserving behavior patterns, aggression, dominance, territoriality, and ritual displays, coming up from the website interaction-design.org. And again, the three parts of the brain. So they reference the neocortex of conscious thought, language, and reasoning, and then the limbic system, which is the area where the pineal gland would be, the amygdala and the hippocampus. Right, the reptilian brain of instinct, the mammal brain of emotional and feelings, pineal and pituitary gland, I believe, are in that section. And then the third section of neopallium, which is the rational thinking brain. Pictures reference the pineal complex as the old reptilian brain, which bothered me. The pineal right above the cerebellum by the fourth ventricle along the brainstem. The basal ganglia looks like the shape of the ear, where the pineal gland would be then nestled right in the top of the ear for protection. The RHO reptilian stem with snake wrapped around the main frame, brain all over the top. The butterfly brainstem, the kundalini, holds the middle, while the outer brain activates the limbs or the limbic system. When it hits the tail, it gives a shock to the system, causing wings to flutter, the moth to the light, dispersed into the rainbow, the brain and 8 legs, the who, MS, camel, right? The who of the human, the who from man, and the MS, camel, and the ELK, 2 swans, C, and C, all from different perspectives here with SCE and CE and SE. The swan Sophia co-create one with Christ. The swan being here, the W is written as in 2 V's overlapping here, which is 2 creations. V is creation of, and V is the 22nd letter. So 2 22s is 44 with the S of the swan. S is Sophia and it ends in N, which is my code for Christ. So it's that Christos Sophia energy with the double V's of co-creation and the A of the projection of the masculine there. 2 fools on the 5D station co-creating S and W1, where then it was interesting too because the numbers 19, 24, and 1 added to 44 again with the 14 of the patient angel, or 19, 22, and 22 with the 1 and 14, which added up to 78, where the first one added up to 58, which is the 4 of Swords connection. The 4 of Swords connection, it's 3:33 on the clock now. And then the 78 being the ultimate, heaven on earth type of energy. So at 12:01, when the woman is pregnant with her daughter, they're showing me she's got 2 V's, right? Because she has her womb and then her daughter has her womb as well. A reflecting swan. The earthworm is a little light inside, or intestines, or perhaps worms, as the 2 V's overlapped equals an X with 2 arms on either side. Kind of like Newton's cradle, but the arms are in the opposite direction. They're like check marks also of L's holding up the V, the little V of the little daughter inside, as L's hold up the little V, or 2 little L's frame the X. 1 little L and then 1 big L allow the Y to lean on the big L, but the X stands on their own. The snake or kundalini, the spiral, causes the brain to go haywire and the tail to short, with fingertips clearing wings or lungs for takeoff, generating light that the moth can't resist. The brain stem at the center of this, the bridge to the rest, sending rainbow signals and generating serotonin regulation here, a bluesy night, and then Ready was coming up, and it was weird because Helen Reddy movie came up the night before this on the 13th. The days for swans to reflect on their little one. The earth, VV or W, or remember W is the upside down of M of co-creation. They're just 2 differing perspectives of that co-creation. So at 12:21 is the King of Cups, who grows up with the truth to set them free, to come together with the 3 of Cups and the Ace of Wands, new passion, from the Emperor trading truth for passion, creativity, and growth. The Emperor's ready to walk right over the King of Wands reversed, who's committed to separate, or a funeral service for the King of Wands, perhaps for some. As Aries, Scorpio, and Taurus are all upright energies here, of disappointment, heartache, and separation of the Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, of wealth and abundance. The Emperor's establishment and the 10 of Pentacles, of wealth, abundance, or multi-generational. The 10 of Pentacles perhaps made a bad call in rejecting the Knight of Cups reversed, or the Knight of Cups reversed is withdrawing their love and instead offering the Ace of Pentacles and shifting gears as the Knight of Pentacles, or setting out on their own post-war with fallen angel, leaving to tame the beast, to be patient with the 10 of Wands, and Atlas carrying the burden, the weight, or waiting until the job is done. At night, the dogs are howling between Leo and Cancer, and then slowing down to get over emotions, time to ground and integrate, or be bored and still. to get real about what it is you actually want, and dumping all emotional attachments that no longer serve you. Telling secrets, a secret passion at a distance, or Libra reversed and Pisces and Virgo reversed and disconnect, or sister at a distance from Pisces or Capricorn who can't sleep, trying to figure out dissatisfaction with self now the worst is over. With the Knight of Swords reversed, detoxing addictions and codependency, breaking chains of inequity and lack of balance or lack of sharing equally, presently sleeping or meditating or mediating with the wounded warrior on guard or defensive, perhaps licking their wounds, which is funny because that's what Teddy's doing right now. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 1234, shut the door on the hanging man and that energetic exchange. A gift to be able to rest and be still and let triggered wounded warrior work on their own wounds. Turning around, and I'm getting again, like Eyes of Laura Mars, I'm getting the total eclipse of the heart. Turn around, that one. Turn around to be the Page of Wands upright and the Page of Pentacles upright, who take off to be foolish or allow themselves to fall or fall into the wrong crowd, or the crowd at a concert as the magician performs magic, boldly traveling as the King of Swords or traveling caravan, finding peace with the King of Swords without an excuse, defenseless to overwork or malalignment, or things not working out, left out in the cold, injured or ill, powerless, taken for all they had, dependent on lover, affection, or Gemini or twin, or two out in the cold, are the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Empress reversed, with great affection for each other, bridging with the Ten of Cups family and finding emotional fulfillment in any situation they're in, even when drained or no sun or got burned. The Six of Cups upright fix each other up and make amends, with savings for sudden events causing limited options, tripping up in front of the King of Pentacles reversed with a sudden fall or dropping of the act, the daily grind, dropping a tray in front of the King of Pentacles reversed, or the boss who's unfair, with a message to step it up, cutting them off at the pass, with no more excuses no matter how much you beg, depressed Queen of Cups reversed at the workplace or missed an event, or a homecoming visit, or promising to come clean or make up for it when they get home, with the Queen of Swords upright in the flow with the Queen of Pentacles, with Libra, Pisces, and Aquarius and Virgo all reversed here, perhaps Saggy reversed too, with a plan, falling short or ran out of money, didn't have enough, or perhaps the Magician King of Swords is now working 2 jobs and constantly on the road, and the Nine of Pentacles reversed and Empress reversed are fully dependent and left out in the cold. Perhaps kids or soulmates got together to invest with the Four of Pentacles, or lay out the plan to save for sudden events, a rainy day, or if they lose their job. After the Eight of Pentacles reversed became 9 Pentacles reversed. So this is, kids or grown-ups learning how to budget their money. And perhaps their expenses went up as the Ten of Cups is upright with the happy family, or ending an emotional event or cycle. Without sun and in low energy, the Six of Cups is upright, coming together with the Four of Pentacles reversed in order to get 7 Pentacles reversed. Right? So perhaps they have 4 to spend or put away to save so that it will grow to have 7 to spend. But their focus, their intention is on ultimately in spending it or investing it in something. The Page of Swords is ready to step it up or play ball, to hit a home run, or made promises they couldn't keep. The Queen of Cups reversed with Pisces or Aquarius in their chart, or depressed and incomplete. Perhaps the workplace is moving and the party's over, or the venue changed, or time to clean up before the Queen of Swords gets home and has a meeting, right? And she would never allow this, She couldn't do her meeting if the place is left the way it was at 12:59, which is the Hanging Man and the War Within, who may feel uncomfortable if the Hermit and Knight of Wands, both reversed, are laying around the house and they can't leave, have no place to go. And the Hermit reversed and Knight of Wands reversed may not have the money to leave or live elsewhere. Perhaps the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles are figuring out a plan for the Queen of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. And perhaps because the Queen of Wands is leaving and the King of Cups, or is leaving with the King of Cups, perhaps she is pregnant with his child, or the Queen of Cups reversed had to use her masculine side, King of Cups, And the Knight of Wands reversed had to use their Queen of Wands feminine side in order for things to work, or to catch a thief, or adopting a child or pet who stole their heart, or placing them, hoping their truth or presentation will get them an offer from the Emperor who needs help and the King of Wands reversed service, or who's in transformation, the King of Wands reversed Taurus, or establishment or tradition, the 43 of the Three of Cups upright, the 12 of the privileged lady, the 44 of the Four of Cups grounding and integrating, and the 29 of the Three of Wands. Presently free or gifted with the truth, details, Pisces or the Hanging Man studying freedom or how to get someone out of jail or a tight situation, as the Queen of Wands or 2024 may be jumping through a maze or hoops to free Pisces, Hanging Man or privileged lady, or taking an exam, or the joy of time to ground and integrate and be still, dealing with the details but without the pressure. The oyster with their feelers out about to crack as the whale feels weighed down, perhaps a pregnant person, with graceful gazelle and dragon's eye on the tarantula or Tara, almost done. Something's cooking, a gentle gaze of those watching the birth happen, of Tara at a crossroads, a decision must be made. Refocus your attention, you must choose Dharma, follow intuition, daily journaling to bring yourself back into balance when you're hesitant or over intellectualizing. That was coming up from the book, From the Wild Unknown. And then we have these this last bit here. I'm trying to go quickly. So this is also Lenormand Kipper with the Wild Unknown and the Rider-Waite from the 14th yesterday. The underlying butterfly, the 39 of the Knight of Cups in the community, and the 47 of the Seven of Cups reversed. The Knight of Cups community with the butterfly dumping emotional attachments in recovery. The Fool is free by the 10 of Cups, happy family, or emotional cycle ending. And actually it was funny because I'd just taken a walk and Teddy got to nuzzle next to a dog that he had never been able to touch before. So that was very cute. Emotionally free and yet bound by the world, the neighborhood, or being a dog on a chain. Pisces and Divine Feminine coming full circle, performing for the King of Cups reversed, who made a bad call or perhaps never called, as the 10 of Swords reversed in a painful ending or surgical recovery and dumping multiple loads, emotional attachments or disillusionments, or found the one. The Page of Cups with multiple faces of vulnerability, and the 11 with triple sevens here aligning with sudden wealth. The Page of Cups and Justice hitting the jackpot. So there's Jack again. The Full House. The 23 of the King of Wands and 7 of Wands needing to stand up to the kids or pets, as the 28 or the Twin Flame Man with a rose, and the Ace of Cups or love, and the 35 of the Wounded Warrior's path lined with butterflies, the 15 of the Lovers, Shadow or Capricorn, and the 34 of the King of Pentacles, Libra, Sag, Capricorn, Pisces, or Gemini, the King of Pentacles energetic exchange, or swimming with the fishes with the Queen of Pentacles, and the 22 of the Fool's Journey to the 5D station, or the Knight of Cups' community, to Aries or the North Node, with the underlying energy of the happy dolphin, with the dragon, unicorn, and butterfly watching, where the cheetah can't resist the lamb, as the dolphin distracts the dragon, the butterfly, and the unicorn, can't take their eyes off of them. As the oyster worm is about to birth, the camel and buffalo arrive late to relieve the hyena who's annoyed. The truth is that the turtle is slow, and the lizard is hanging with the bunny rabbit, right, the tortoise and the hare, to win or get them, or they're hanging with the rabbit to get them there fast or to win. The raccoon is sad watching the spider in the web and lookout, plugged into the golden egg or the heart, as the mouse dreams of being a bat so they can fly away, where the mouse is hiding in the dark or has no way out. So many creatures in the neighborhood. The 39 is the Knight of Cups, the 1 of the 38 Queen of Cups and twin bridges, the 24 of the Queen of Wands and the 40 of the Page of Cups, reflecting swans, the Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups together. The 39 Knight of Cups is rolling the die, taking a chance, as the Queen of Wands with 7 and the snake, or toxic magic, deliverance, or self-discovery here. The 29 is present to a split, or watching the Queen of Wands, 24 thief. There could be a little person who's a thief here too, right? Like your dog or your child might have stole something. But there's some manipulation or insecurity there with the 24 and the Queen of Wands. The 43 is the labyrinth between the Queen of Wands thief and the privileged lady, number 12, Pisces or Capricorn, making things bigger than they are, or magnetic trap here with water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and the fiery Queen of Wands. As the Ace of Swords is reversed, dumping staff or stuff out in a split, as the Devil waves, or Knight of Cups dolphin has found the one and needs clarity, tempted to share the past, sneakiness, or come clean about the Page of Pentacles reversed, right? Or that could be the need to manifest something, or needing help, or, you know, it could be manipulative, childlike behavior too. As the Knight of Swords reversed, in unstable home, perhaps 2 of them there, or homeless, or moving, or visiting, as the 9 of Pentacles upright and the Magician reversed without their tools, and maybe insecure about their dream girl, the star, the healer, or a healing with secret passion, or star's secrets, all told because they're a star and they're out there. With the 10 of Pentacles reversed, dysfunction or loss, and standing up to the 8 of Pentacles, justice. Perhaps a workaholic, Libra, or working for the justice system, or on or in a divorce. Uncomfortable with nightmares, stress, or drained, and no sun, or a patient angel, Queen of Swords, with bad influences clinging to them. The Hermit with the light to find a mouse, or the King of Wands reversed passion, or the Hermit needs a walking stick to see where they're going. Keeping the golden goose in check to let them find their way on their own, as Virgo and Libra are upright here, receiving a passion offer from the King of Wands reversed, who's receiving a big love offer from the wounded warrior, laying it all out on the table. All 4 pentacles reversed. Perhaps the King of Wands reversed is offering a wand that does not belong to them, and the wounded warrior lovingly gave it to them, and they never returned it. Or the wounded warrior is offered big love to the King of Wands reversed, for him only to turn and offer that big passion elsewhere, where the Hermit could shed light, or acting much bigger or tougher or more passionately than they actually are at 304. So that's pretty funny. It ended on 304, the masculine and the feminine. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. We'll pull one more card for you from my Messages of Love Oracle cards, and we'll let you go there before it's 3 hours. It's 2:42 on your clock. It's 3:49 on mine, which is the Empress, and the 9 of Cups. Abundance and getting your wish. That would be nice here. It is nice, right? All right, so what is the message to leave the twin flames for the best and highest good of all that's concerned? What is the message here? Well, this one's go slow. That was forcing back in, go slow, and the lesson this person's in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. And let's see what was coming out the other end. Your soulmate loves, accepts, and respects you. Someone's undergoing a spiritual transformation. Try something you've never done before with passion. Right? You may not share the same vision. You might be on different pages, but there is a leap of faith here. It is safe to make the move you're considering. There may be financial challenges. You can expect the apology you want. You can be completely vulnerable with them, and there is chemistry. It's mutual. Everything happens for a reason, and there's your divine counterpart connection there. Okay? So remember, this person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. So there's some things that are still being worked out, but it's, you know, you never near the end because it keeps going and going and going. Why there's no 100%. It's always at 99.999999. You're always nearing the end because then it expands further. Okay, guys, I hope you like that. There's some great messages in there, really important messages that help understand this whole process. So rise and be love, you guys. Remember to get your rest, your water, your joy, your nature. Be good to yourselves. It's springtime. It's a great time to get out there and ground. And be good to yourselves. I'll see you next time. Rise and be love, guys. Bye.